And now that no one has any context for anything that we say, hey, that's perfect time to start.
Who needs context?
Context is overrated.
I mean,
Context is for nerds. I
Playing
say.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and it's mainstream now.
There was a
arguably,
movie
yeah.
about it.
It's mainstream now. Now we're the cool kids. We're the jocks of the nerd world.
I'm just trying to understand, who would we bully as the jocks of the nerd world? What, like League of Legends players?
Everybody,
Yes.
everybody
say
bullies
that?
League of Legends players. That's not hard.
Because they
bully
deserve it.
themselves.
Yeah.
The only people who bully us are like, I don't know, like the Linux fucking programmers. I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
Oh wait, no, that's an entirely different species of nerd. We don't talk about that.
I was gonna say
they
those are fighting words, Manda.
Oh, man, now
Yeah,
Amanda's got
different
permanent
species. They have
disadvantage.
money.
Oh fuck.
No. I'm not upset. I'm just stating, like, with the right audience and the wrong time, those would be fighting words. And
I can't believe I'm gonna be canceled on X.
Okay, that's the only time I'll accept it being called X. Because saying being canceled on X is like such a...
Oh no, you want to hear something that's a lot funnier that actually happened? I used to play World of Warcraft, and our GM at the time had said something to somebody else, and during a raid they came up to us and said, "Hey, guess what just happened?" "What?" "That guy just said he's going to report me to Tumblr." And it's become a running joke for 7 years. You can't say that. What are you going to do? Report me to Tumblr?
I mean, me and my other friends group have a running joke based on a fucking World Star video of just this one woman just constantly harassing this bus driver, and he keeps warning her, one more time. She does it one more time. He gets up, just shells, "You're going to jail," decks her, and throws her off the bus.
I've seen that video.
I know, because I probably showed it to you. But literally, the "you have crossed the line, you're going to jail now" is a big thing in my friends group.
Listen, these hands are rated E for everyone.
Oh. But yeah, maybe we should start introducing everybody, because this is a whole new crew for a whole new mini-series, which, hello everybody.
Hello, friends.
Yeah, Manda, why don't
Hello.
you introduce yourself first?
Oh shit, do I have to? Okay. Hi, I'm Mandaloo. I play Pyle today, our Forge Cleric. Fucking Zacho, go.
But I have the letter Z. I was supposed to go last.
Yeah. And Citric gets the letter C. He should have gone first.
And here
Dang
I
it.
am, breaking
Wait.
the rules. Wild card, bitches.
Yes. Hello, I'm Zako Duo. I'm frequent on Vaughn's channel. You find me Twitter and Blue Sky at Zako Duo. I'm gonna be busy this weekend because immediately after this, I have my 4-year stream anniversary, and then tomorrow, Vaughn and I will be going live with AI Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. And then immediately after that, I got the second half of my stream anniversary. So you're going to be hopefully seeing me a lot.
Excellent.
Until Sunday, when everyone else in the server is going to drop everything and watch the giant wrestling event.
Yes.
yeah.
But Citric, how about you say hi to the people?
No.
You know what?
You're not in character yet.
He's practicing. He's warm up.
Alrighty. Hi, I'm Cedric. I doodle things sometimes. And you can find those sometimes in pretty much anywhere at Cedricing. And anywhere being the drinking game of like jump into a social media site and see if I am there. By default would be Twitter, like Instagram, Tumblr, now Blue Sky, even Newgrounds. And like pretty much anywhere is just Cedricing. That is mostly me. Which lead us to our lovely DM for the night.
You will never take me alive.
We already got you. You can't
Damn
escape
it.
anymore.
Damn it.
Take you alive. That's fine. One of us will just re-roll as a
Yeah.
necromancer. Now you can't escape us.
Also,
Fair.
you had 6 months to come to your senses about this game. Sorry, no, we got your hooks in.
Shh. They don't need to know that. That's under NDA. They don't need to know that. Hi, I'm Saris. You can find me over on Twitter and Tumblr at TXDXL and over at Instagram at TixDixel with eyes between the consonants. Mostly you're going to find art and shit posts there. You might occasionally find other stuff and things, but predominantly all streaming for the foreseeable future is going to happen here on this channel. And that's how I'm going to segue over to
And, well, thank you for that. Hello, everybody. You've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at BurnoutVaughn, where if you miss one of these episodes or you can't make it, don't worry. I put all of the D&D content that we do on this channel into handy playlists, so that way you can start from the beginning and enjoy. Aside from that, we've mentioned several of the things we do. If you want to come on Mondays, you can see myself and our good friend Zymocyte playing as our D&D characters going through the RE2 make in Wizard Sibs Plays. Also, on Thursdays, you can join me and Citric here again for the continuation of our All Warlock Party miniseries, Pack Tactics, where we're already coming back and returning to the characters after a long time, and things have only gotten crazier. We literally had to forcibly make a centaur laugh yesterday. It's completely off the rails. And then Saturdays we
All
have
the irony.
Saturdays we got two different things where when we're not playing through games that will break my brain with Zako, we have our bi-weekly Strixhaven game, Saved by the Spell, which it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Everyone in the party except for the rogue is drunk. And my character's already spent a second level spell slot casting darkness by accident.
Oops.
Well, actually, no. I've been waiting for an in-character moment for him to discover that he actually has one other innate spell, and having basically chugged an entire pint of rum out of, like, a coconut, that was the perfect time to be like, yeah, he's gonna do this, because he could not taste the rum. He made the journeyman mistake. But with all that out of the way, it wouldn't be a D&D miniseries for us on this channel if we didn't lead in with a theme song made by our lovely friend X Wiley Willie. So let me take us away. If I can... Oh, forgot to press this button. There we go. Now I'll take us away.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What?
It kind of reminds me of fucking 8-bit chocobo music.
Fair. What I went to Wiley and said was, Wiley, I need an Eastern European folk cover of American Idiot. This is what he gave me.
And he nailed it.
Yes. Though he also admits that it also sounds like the opening of The King of the Hill, so that's why it's got on a shitpost in the title of the name for the song, which I will not share on the stream.
Oh, God, hang on. There's 4 of us. Hang on.
Yep.
No.
Dang it, Bobby.
Now the classic game of who is who.
I mean, Citric kind of has to be the Boomhauer.
which one of you, like you, Sagor, or Von, are going to be Dale?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think I'm too much of the straight man. I'd end up being the Hank. So you get to have the fun of Dale.
I am unabashedly Bobby Hill.
Correct.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Force kick.
Well,
Sploot.
with that out of the way, Saris, why don't you take us on a journey?
I sure will. And I do know that some of our viewers and some of our players have never had a Ravnica and don't know what a Ravnica is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like you to come in and imagine with me a giant city. Buildings, skyscrapers, and fog as far as the eye can see. With the sounds of tinkering, the sound of hooves clopping, the sound of wings flapping. The streets themselves, in the upper part of the city, paved and ready and busy upon people, but people everywhere. And of course, for those unfamiliar, we have our districts, separated predominantly by our 10, double checking my counting, 10 guilds. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this world is, for the most part, run and governed by these 10 guilds. And while not all of them bear importance in this very, I would almost argue it is a mix between steampunk and high fantasy landscape to just sort of bring it all together, what kind of vibe we're going for. The buildings, for reference, are very much like the ones that you see on this map before you. This is actually an official art piece by Wizards of the Coast for Ravnica. So for those of you who are able to watch the stream, what you see in front of you is quite literally exactly as the authors intended it to speak. But of the guilds that are important, we will start with one. With high, steeping, smoking forges, the sound of clanking metal. We do a sound check here.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, I can hear it.
Mm-hmm. Can hear it.
Huh? Yes, I can hear it. Sorry, I'm shilling us in other channels.
No worries. I bring you into the district that houses the Boros Legion. With minotaurs, humanoids, clad in armor, proud, roaring, as they go along their daily duties. We understand in Ravnica that the Boros, predominantly being fueled by white and red, or light and power, are the law enforcers, not in the bureaucratic, written sort of way, but in the we go out and we save people. We go out and we find justice and we, pun intended, bring it by the horns. I draw us all in to a specific forge. Again, with the billowing smoke, its coals and its ash burn with a bright, raging red and orange, with anvils covered in various weaponry, various metals of a variety of different qualities, expenses, and durability. And in our current moment, I bring us into, well, I can't describe it any better than the player. Mandaloo, would you like to describe what our audience sees before them?
Sure. At the forge is a tank of a woman. She is a 7-foot tall centaur. She has rich brown skin that fades down into this sort of a medium blue-gray equine body. She's speckled in white and gray dapples that go all the way up her spine, over her shoulders, and across her face, kind of like freckles. On her lip, and her lower lip and chin, on her, I think it's her right shoulder, is very prominent gruel tattooing. Her hair is long, textured, very curly, black, and it's held back with a scarf. She has these very big, bright blue eyes, and she's never really without a grin on her face. And when she grins at you, you can see that she has a gap in her 2 upper front teeth. And she's just working away, perfectly happy as could be. This is her element. Yeah.
I think someone forgot about push to talk.
Uh-oh.
Meh. It's fine.
Not me, like, oh no, I can't think of anything else
Nope,
to
you're
say.
good. No, you're good. Sorry, I did. You're right. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Um,
fine.
I
You're
did
fine.
ask for our viewers if you could describe a little bit more what gruel tattooing means as a new word for some of our viewers. Is it like tribal tattooing? Is it like fine line work?
It is kind of a mix of both. It fits perfectly to her shoulder. It's very straight lines that would, if you looked at like a map from above, it would look like the way the roads would be laid out. They're very purposeful, but probably only Pyle really knows what they mean specifically. It's a little hard to describe without
Yeah, no.
visually.
Absolutely. So as you are king pounding away at this, would you say it's a weapon that she's
Probably.
probably working on? Yeah.
Yeah, a sword, something like
you
that.
you hear a kind of awkwardly, as there's, I'm not really sure in your shop if there's a lot of wood, but the attempt at wood knocking probably on your workbench off to your side is a loud knocking.
Pyle will turn around. Come in.
You see before you an individual who, for lack of a better word, is plain. Clothing, nothing more than commoner's clothing. Hair black and down, a bit rattied. Probably not from, shall we say, lack of hygiene care, but rather someone who has been working during the day and just natural sort of frizz and tanglement comes up. Sorry. Are you Miss Pyle?
Yes. Well, sure, that's me. And she'll put down her hammer and pick up a cloth that's probably just sitting in like a water bucket and uses it to like wipe her hands down. Looking for a new weapon? Got something that needs repairing?
No, actually, I am here on behalf of my employers, and I have a
Oh,
which I have made available in your handouts if you would like to read it.
Pyle will take the note from them and open it up. Did you want me to read it out so that the audience can hear, or?
Yes, please.
She'll look over it for a moment, and then then the dude that handed it to her will see the paper slowly get closer to her face, and closer to her face, and closer to her face. And she'll literally read it out loud. Employment opportunity. Dear recipient. Oh, gee, I think this is for someone else. I'm Pyle.
You are Pyle, but you are the recipient of this letter.
he can see the cogs are slowly turning.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back to reading it. Again, it's like probably just a few inches from her face. It has been brought to our attention that you, the recipient of this letter, possess skills and qualities and proper motivations to fulfill an employment opportunity on behalf of Orzov Syndicate and its officiates. If you so choose to learn more about this opportunity, the renown that you will acquire, as well as your tangible reward, please make your way to the Great House of Trades in the 3rd Precinct of the city. She just goes, city, blah, 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 Ravnica, at your earliest convenience. Failure to reply. She squints down at the small writing. I'm sure that's fine. And then she'll skip over it. With utmost sincerest, best, kindest regards, Pontiff Ashleby Sinwell.
That's Ashby Simwell.
Oh! Well, heck, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I just listen. Sometime I'm sure if you're familiar, they're really particular about making sure that their names are correct.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. She'll bob her head.
So,
Let's see. I suppose she'll kind of look around her little shop. I suppose I could fire down the forges for now and it gets to going. Do they need me today or
at your earliest convenience, which is as soon as possible, please.
Oh, we'll say no more. And she'll sort of roll it up a little crudely and like stuff it into like a pocket that's on the apron that she's wearing. And she'll just kind of like he just up and vanish. She'll just like start letting the forges die down.
You actually notice that the individual stands there waiting at the door for you.
He'll probably stand there for like 5 minutes before she turns around and goes, oh, you're still here.
Yes, I think it would be of your best interest if I, at the very least, escort you.
Oh, well, that's mighty neighborly of you. I should be done here, right quick.
Take your time. No worries. Every moment on the clock is a coin in my pocket. So.
Oh, did you need some?
No.
Reaching for a pouch.
It's fine. Please, I promise you really don't want to give me that. And no, it's fine. I am perfectly content to wait here. And you watch as they pull out just kind of a notebook of sorts and a quill pen of which they start jotting down notes of some kind as you proceed to close down your shop for the day. What does that kind of look like for Pyle?
For Pyle, it would just start by her just like killing the heat on the forges, putting scrap metal away, putting things on shelves. It's probably a fairly lengthy process. But during the entire time, she's probably just talking his ear off about literally nothing. Just, you want something to drink? You want something to eat? I got water. I got food. I got all sorts of things laying around here. Do you need some new armor? How about a new weapon? I could probably craft you a rat-ass dagger to fit on that belt real good.
Oh,
literally, it'll go on like that for like at least 20 minutes.
and you watch as like every single time it's like, oh no, it's fine. I assure you, all of my equipment is given to me by my employer, and I promise you any new equipment or new armor or particularly weapons would probably make them really really suspicious. And I thank you. I'm perfectly content, but maybe in the future, maybe. No. I'm good, thank you. I just hydrated earlier today, and yes, I've fed, and yes, I've taken my daily medication. Oh, you didn't ask me about daily medications.
I didn't, but gee, I sure could probably find you some herbs if you
No,
really need them.
no. I've taken mine for the day. Thank you.
She's kind of just stopped like putting things away, and she just kind of has her hands on her hip looking down at him. Like she has that kind of mom hover moment where she's just staring at him.
Thought you were. Do you need help putting things away?
Huh? Oh, no. It's fine. We can go. And she'll adjust her apron a little bit, pick up what you would assume would be like going out and about weaponry, because it's better to better to have it and not need it, than need it and not have it.
Absolutely. And at this point, for the sake of things, I am actually going to temporarily, as you walk through the city, pull us back a moment as I will describe for some of the other players a very similar route to your designated location. And it is in this moment that I will switch scenes. For you see, it is interesting as I actually must pose a question to, well, first off, Finnegan, what exactly do you look like?
Yes, Finnegan Faulkner is a human. He's got slightly combed over blonde hair. Doesn't look like he's really taking care of it. Blue eyes. He wears a long tan trench coat that has seen some better days. He's wearing the traditionally blue Demir uniform, which is a excuse me, just a bit of a tight fit with a coat that's got several belts and straps, particularly on the left side, and a nice scarf wrapped around his neck, also blue, and almost always in his right hand, he's carrying on a cigar, either just holding onto it for show or actively smoking it.
For our audience, see, Demir is a guild of which it is rumored that there are none left. Demir being that of the darkness and that of I'm blanking on what it is. I literally wrote it down. I'm smart. But essentially, yes, knowledge, that's what I'm Demir being that of the black power and the blue knowledge are predominantly known, historically speaking, for their spy work, assassinations, investigations. If it's a job done under the table and a job in silence, it is best done by the Demir. The Demir are known for keeping secrets and being, for better or for worse, the best and the worst at hiding information. Let me ask, what would you say Finnegan is doing per se on a regular, normal day in the life? You know, what the average, shall we say, middle of the day thing that Finnegan would be doing? What is he doing right now?
Finnegan is not the ambitious type. He's not actively go-gettering any particular jobs. He simply takes them as he receives them. So more often than not, he's simply waiting in his personal office, in his home, just lazing about, papers and clippings scattered all over the place. If someone were to actually look at any of them, they'll see they're mostly shopping lists or random blurbs that just look like someone scribbled on. It's intentionally messy by design to make it look like he's incredibly busy when he's obviously not getting paid enough to do what he's supposed to. So more than likely, he's going to be at his desk just trying to fight off a quick doze spell as he probably overslept and trying to make sure he doesn't drop any of his cigars and accidentally catch a fire, as there is, in fact, a lot of flammable material around.
And as you're working at your desk, you hear a knock at the door.
Come in.
you see, similar to what I described previously to Pyle, a young woman, who I can only describe to be as plain can be. Average clothing, black hair pulled up into a bun, with a cloak that almost completely covers her as she walks in. Yes, is this the office of Sir Finnegan, I believe?
Yes, it is. How can I help you?
Yes, I am here to offer this particular letter. And she hands you the letter, which is the same letter that Pyle was reading before. Again, in
Alright.
your handouts.
All right. As Finnegan will stand up, he's about 5'7". Has a bit of a hunch, so that he looks a bit more 5'6". But everything about this man's just screaming that he's not trying. That even standing is effort for him. As he goes over to reach for the letter. All right, let's see here. I won't reread the whole thing, but he will take notice of the blurb at the bottom. Failure to reply in any manner may result in tangible ramifications and potential ineligibility for future employment opportunities, adventures, escapades, payment, affiliation, cooperation, alliances, amicableness, afterlife benefits. He raises an eyebrow. And
Yes.
other positively aligned or connotated consequences, future coincidences, miracles, and otherworldly interventions notwithstanding. By the pure absurdity of the fine print as well as the symbol, can I tell that this is Orzhov off the bat?
I mean, it says that it was on behalf of the
Oh,
Orzhov Syndicate.
oh, it's still early for Finnegan. Oh,
Fair enough, but yes. Yes.
With the utmost sincerest best and kindest regards, Pontiff Ashley Simpleton.
Ashby Simwell.
No, it says Ashley Simpleton right here.
I can assure you, it does say Ashby Simwell. He is very particular about people getting his name right.
All right, I'll take your word for it. As he will, do you want this back or do I keep it?
Nope, it is yours.
Oh, okay.
However, whenever you do choose to leave, let me know and I would be happy to escort you.
I mean, I'm a little busy at the moment. As he just gestures to all the papers around.
She's gonna insight check you, and I would love a deception check, as you previously mentioned that you were just, shall we say, minding your own business.
All right. That is where are you? 25.
Oh, I'm really terribly sorry. I can wait for you if that would be convenient, or if you would like to indicate whenever it is that you would like to leave, you could always. And she places a small stone on your table. It looks like it is made predominantly out of like marble, and she puts that on there and says you could always message me if you would like, but it is important that if you do choose to go that I do escort you. Yes.
Oh no, it's fine. We can go right now. Just let me get my things. And he'll reach over and just start opening up different cabinets, just willy-nilly, just pointlessly wasting her time as he looks for his weapons and tools. And he spends about 5 minutes just faffing about until finally he goes to check his desk, grabs a nice fresh box of cigars, tucks them into his coat. All right, I'm good. Let's be on our way.
Excellent. Shall we? And she sort of holds the door open for you.
Oh,
And it is. Sorry,
you are
you
too
first.
ki- you are
Nope,
too
you
you are
first.
too kind. And he will just proceed out and just wait for her to close it so that he can lock it.
She sort of, the way that she sort of scurries out of the room, it's almost like her feet aren't touching the floor.
He will look down at her feet, not in a creepy way.
Yeah, no, you don't see any indication, like you don't hear any indication sound, and As you look at the bottom or the skirt hem hangs, you don't see shoes.
Can I roll anything to identify the means that which they are traveling?
You may make either an Arcana check or a Nature check.
I'll roll Arcana. 16.
Yeah, here's the interesting thing. It doesn't look like a levitation spell because upon a very sly, classy look, you're not even sure this person has feet.
Oh. Finnegan will just mark that in the back of his brain and just log it for later, as he will gesture for her to lead the way. As
Will
he will
do.
take time to observe other details on her to figure out what exactly is happening.
Go ahead and roll me two different rolls then. Go ahead and roll me a insight check and a just general intelligence check.
All right. Insight. 22. And intelligence. Where are you? You little bugger. There you are. And a 15 on intelligence.
Yeah, very well. So it's the insight is to note that she's not hiding it necessarily. She has a very poised demeanor, very, very confident in, well, let's call it a movement, not a walk, shall we? And the thing that you notice immediately that comes to your head as being an investigator yourself is the reminder that the Orzhov do particularly involve themselves in necrotic, arcane, shall we say, and I guess the inverse of divine, if you want to call it that, and deeply rooted and ingrained in the undead. And as you start to put these pieces together, it's entirely possible that this woman, if you would like to call her that, is, I mean, she is a woman. She always has been. Entirely possible that she is on the other half, the other chapter, shall we say, of life. And this is just her normal state of being, without shoes, without feet, just floating about, doing her thing.
Finnegan will simply just chomp on a cigar and just smoke it on the way as they walk and keep it to himself, but we'll take note of that detail as we approach our destination.
As we
And
approach-
obviously keeping an eye out if anyone's watching or following.
roll a perception check.
Oh boy, I'm getting all the rolls today. Perception. I love being a rogue. 22.
It isn't so much that you're being followed. It's just particularly interesting that you happen to notice at the time of you entering the third precinct of the city, that there is a centaur of a very large stature and a tiny, tiny. They're definitely an adult, but they've got baby face syndrome, walking alongside her. And the gentleman walking beside the centaur seems to look rather similarly to that of the escort that you currently following.
Do they also not have feet?
That's a great question. I'm gonna keep your 22 perception. They do have feet, but it does strike your interest that one of their arms is missing.
Oh,
One arm missing, no feet. Finnegan's starting to develop a crackpot theories of what, where all the missing parts are. Not that there's any long-term plan. He's just doing it for a giggle.
For sure. And as you ponder this particular inquiry, I'm going to pull us to a different place of the city. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, Ravnica has multiple layers. And the Undercity has multiple different parts. We zoom in now to the sewers and the underground mazes of the city of Ravnica. Particularly marked, as we know, by, for lack of a better word, smell, rot. The sound, water. From local riverscapes, segments of the sewers, as that's just the natural way of being. And of course, what better place for mold and mushroom to grow than a place with lot and lot of moisture. But further in we go to the hives of the Golgari. The Golgari are known for, in their nature and power duality, for also diving into the realms of the necrotic. But this time with a mentality of reduce, reuse, recycle, deconstruct, and reconstruct. And we come in now to a section of the hives built predominantly with stone, but let's be real, there are aspects of this architecture that have questionable origins, and no one wants to answer that question. Victor, as we come approaching the, shall we call them a being? I don't know, I'll leave that up to you, who is waking up from slumber. What do our audiences see?
Victor is a hulking figure, standing around 7 feet tall, but he's hunching forward a lot. And that is for a reason, because his back has to accommodate for a cumbersome set of wings that like fold. And by wings I mean insect-like. Think about what a beetle would look like. And that's not the only bug part about him. A lot of it is covered in like plates of chitin and a weird like green sinew that goes over whatever you can see of human, elven, whatever make is underneath it. Because Victor is a hybrid. He not only has wings, he has a set of antennae, he also has a second set of arms, like resting on pretty much above his hips. And he is big. So yeah, big bugman. If you're talking again, I can hear you.
That's odd. I don't know why my microphone...
It's been kind of a tad here and there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
No, it's fine. Like, but that's it. I introduced Victor.
Yeah, no, I heard. I just don't know why my microphone shut off. But as Victor emerges from his hive, his pod, the first thing that you notice is, well, you see other individuals that are currently, shall we say, doing their early morning routines, right? You see individuals that are in conversation. Some of them are making their way over to the fields, if you want to call them that, where the recycling plants happen underground. You see people coming in and out of the maze. But one thing that strikes you as particular is the one person that you have grown to share a bond with, your companion, the individual, for lack of a better word, your agent, the person who gives you your assignments, who does a lot of the diplomatic practices involving you and other members of the Golgari, is nowhere to be found. And in this moment, I would like you to make a perception check.
Hmm. That's an 11.
11. Not hard, actually, to notice the fact that there's an individual that you do not recognize that seems to be awkwardly looking around, kind of fidgeting with their hands, going, oh, like as if they're looking for something, as if they're lost. And the thing that strikes you as particularly odd about this individual is not even just that they look lost. I mean, this is the territory of the Golgari. Half of it is a maze. People are designed to get lost here. That's the point. And yet, what sticks out to you about this person is that they're wearing a brooch with the Orzhov symbol on it. You have not seen any Orzhov at all, ever, in this deep into the Golgari mazes, the Golgari sewers, and the Golgari farms. It seems as well that other members that are just kind of lingering about, minding their own business, seem to pay no attention to this individual. After a moment of pause, they lock eyes with you. And it's almost like a light bulb, if you will, or shall we say, a dancing light goes off in their head. And they immediately, like, full sprint approach you with, like, very long strides. Again, an individual looking humanoid in nature with very plain clothes, a cloak, and of course, as I mentioned, a brooch with the Orzhov symbol on it. Are you Victor? Is that pronouncing it right? Victor.
Victor will flinch slightly at the sudden like burst of interest of this person, like sprinting at him, and almost as instinctively, his hand is going like towards his hip to pick up a weapon. He will catch himself. Look at this person. Yes, I am.
Oh, right. This is for you. And like almost jabbing it into your chest, the individual hands you a letter.
Again, flinching. It's like, He will slowly grab the paper.
It reads exactly as what was read before by the other players. And of course, if you want to see the copy for yourself, it's in your handout.
Yep, that is no problem. Yeah, Victor read it silently, but he will take his sweet time doing so. It's like he will be frozen reading in there, lingering on every word.
Of which there are many. And
yes,
multiple of them are rather verbose. It feels to you very precarious, very unnecessary, like flourish, like when, like, it's the verbal equivalent of when a fighter is doing like unnecessary like flourishes that make it look like they're showing off for no reason, and it's low-key kind of embarrassing. Well, once you finish reading that, if you want, I could...
You got off again. Hello.
Great! And they go to reach for your arm to like lick it. And try to like arm in arm. And then there's a moment of pause where they stop and go, wait, how do you get out of here?
I can lead you out.
You know, I never thought that I'd see the day where the person who's specifically paid to go escort people is the one being escorted. You know what? I better not think too hard on this. Yeah, let's go!
How did you know where to find me?
You see them thinking really hard a second before they answer. I was sent here.
By whom?
It says in your letter. My employers.
Did you speak with Breb?
Who's that? They look so lost and confused.
Never mind. I will escort you out.
Excellent! Lead the way!
Victor is really very like perplexed at this person. Will lead, but every now and then he's like looking back. And it's like, what are you?
An enigma. And as the two of you leave the maze, is there anything that Victor is thinking as they emerge to the, upper part of the city?
He's not looking forward to it. Victor does not like crowded places, and he's very much like at ease in the dim light of the Underdark. But
The
right
pers-
now, he is curious because someone from the outside came here with his name, which is very uncommon.
And are you hiding by chance the feeling that you are having of discomfort, or if there isn't any discomfort with the crowded streets of Ravnica?
Victor has a very like inscrutable face by the very nature of the amount of patch stuff on top of it. But his body language is very transparent. Like the moment he's approaching the light of the city, he starts like moving more like less fluently and being a lot more like uh, constricted with his movements.
Are you struggling? Says the person stopping and looking at you.
No,
You sure?
I am fine.
We could zigzag through the shadows if you want. We could whatever makes you
Yes.
comfortable.
Not the light. It is the people, the noise. I do not like it.
Got it. That I can't help you. I'm sorry.
It is fine.
As long as you're okay with it. And they just continue walking. And
Since I did not bring it up, yeah, the way Victor dresses, he's completely wrapped in a black cloak and like hood put on. Despite the fact that like he's trying very hard to hide all of his extra bits, is still he's very big and that's not something he's going to get away with. Like
yeah. 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 And as we emerge upon the city streets, I'm actually going to shift us a little bit down the street, if you will. Give me just a moment. Right music track. I'm praying it's the right music. Oleander,
Hi.
would you like to describe for the audience what you look like?
Sure. You will see probably the youngest member in the party, in that this is quite obviously a teenager somewhere between like 15 and 16 years old, dressed in what most people would consider at least some level of opulence, but for being a member of the Orzhov Syndicate, this is actually basically what a salaryman would wear. He is very thin-faced, gaunt, with bags under his eyes, short, dark hair just slicked back, with a few graying strands, kind of belying the fact of just how stressful his job is. And possibly his life. You don't know this guy yet, but that's half the fun. Ahem. They are wearing a typical black, cloak that you would see many of the people in his same line of work, which is advocates wear, that has, the illusion of sleeves that show off the inner lining as they split almost right as they come off the shoulder, going from black and gold to a royal, pinkish purple. And a high collar that is surrounded by a shoulder pad piece that is common in Orzhov fashions that kind of keeps people slightly away because it's pointed while also being adorned in coins. He's just constantly going around checking a little book and trying to make sure that he's getting his rounds done, because I assume that it's about that time of day.
It is. It absolutely is. And you have been doing, I'm assuming today.
You cut off right there, so.
No! Are you, I would assume that you are out doing collections.
Mm-hmm.
Just going down the streets, going to each house, kind of like wandering salesman. It's kind of awful. Not gonna lie, you hate days like today. But it's very interesting as you leave one of the different buildings, one of the different, shall we say, targets that you have to go after. You notice that an individual from the Orzhov Syndicate approaches you. Someone you don't recognize, but you recognize immediately. This individual is probably on the lowest level of the ranking. And it is in this moment where I will explain to our viewers such a thing. The best way that I can describe the Orzhov Syndicate, for those who are not familiar, is like if the church was a business. See, they are the biggest religious sect of the entirety of the city of Ravnica, and they are also the greediest group, dealing with taxes, debt, storing money, all of those sorts of things that you would expect for better or for worse. Many people find solace in the, shall we say, light, keeping the peace through power, if you will. While many others will find in both life and very much in death that the Orzhov Syndicate is no better than a prison. Recognizing this, you immediately notice this individual approaching you at a full sprint. They are running to find you, and you hear that behind you, and as they tap you on the shoulder, they're like, Oleander.
Yes.
It's really important.
Okay.
It's really important.
What? You'll just see him as he just opens up his book, his ledger, goes down, marks down the approximate time called away on business, and I'll just say, "All right, where do you need me?"
We need to go to the house of the Great House of Trades. You're needed for a job, a new job, a different job. Not. It looks at your ledger and kind of waves their hand at it. You can put that away. You're not going to need that. I promise.
Oh, that's on whose authority, if I can ask?
Do you want my boss or my boss's boss? Or
how many? Who's the person in charge of the job? The top.
The pontiff.
You are just again. It's not even so much like an anime vein going off. It's more of just the. Oh, it's too early for this. Fine. Let's head there. Time is.
I was not by the top dog, so to speak, but the person who sent me, who's working on behalf of Pontiff, apparently knows of you and your history, and I've been told that I should tell you which pontiff.
Oh. Which one?
Pontiff Simwell.
You are just going to see, like, this boy's already pale, but he has mastered the art of going paler. And he'll just be like, well, how's the trade? Better get going.
Yep, let's go. And all four of you, in very different directions, will eventually emerge at what I can only describe to you is a giant Baroque church. I mean, to the nines. Ornamental in its design. Gold, white, porcelain, metals. It is kind of gaudy. No, it's actually it's really gaudy. It's really gaudy. And coincidentally, the four of you approach, each with your escorts, at the same time. And you enter into what I can only describe as a giant cathedral. Doing a check. Give it a second.
Okay.
While you're getting that set
Yep.
up, Finnegan will see if any of the other escorts are missing limbs.
Interestingly enough, the one leading this giant bug person, they're a hybrid, of course, but the best way that we can describe it as a bug person, they seem to have no eyes.
Oh.
But it's not gruesome looking. It's their eyes are closed. And the person leading the shrimp of a person, the tiny child, if you will, the teenager, looks like the most normal out of the four of them. In fact, they are actually dressed a little bit more, I don't want to say lavishly because that's not accurate, but their uniform is pretty gaudy, but it's got more to it than the other three do. And this one definitely indicating some level of while minor, some level of status in the Orzhov Syndicate.
Got it.
And as the four of you enter, you do hear, as in the audio, the sounds of people worshiping. I mean, it is a giant, well, the best way I can describe it is it's a combination of a church where services and worship are being held and done, but also there are people talking of trade. There are groups of people that are walking around talking of money, of bets, of literal trade, of investment. You see around you, as I grab the correct notebook, you see around you that there is like, again, this ornate decora archways that go upwards of 40, almost 50 feet high unnecessarily. Stained glass, paintings on the ceiling. You see columns holding up this lavished building with giant alcoves where they sit nestled inside. And what immediately sticks out to the three of you who are not from Orzhov Syndicate is the number of donation and offering boxes that line the walls of this room. Towards the back, you will all notice a giant statuette of a figure that is, quite frankly, you may or may not know who that is. You are welcome to do a history check, actually.
Sure.
I shall.
If I can find it on my sheet. There it is. Huh! That tracks.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. Respectfully, yeah. That yeah.
No thoughts, head empty. Ooh, shiny.
I should note, if you haven't already, Oleander, history. If you want to do this history check, you should do it with advantage.
Okay, sure. One
20
second. I was
23 from Finnegan.
And
I'm-
12 for Victor.
just dropping something. Yep. I knew that would get pop ass someone in the hair.
God, I hope somebody is dressed like him somewhere.
It's Orzhov,
God.
probably.
Yeah, the answer is yes and worse.
Oh, wonderful.
So I get a
I'm
15.
looking at this place and everything, and all I can think of, oh, it's the holy stock market. Dividend.
If your stock crashes, you're going to hell.
I mean, you say that. I don't think anyone here wants to find out how accurate that statement is. 15
Oleander.
from Oleander.
I was about to say, Oleander knows exactly all the things that can happen to you if you default.
So, starting from the top, Oleander and Finnegan, you would recognize this as the visage of, oh my goodness, where did it go? Apologies. I dropped my notebook on the floor. Like a smart person.
Sorry, I have one more joke. Un
Yep.
equity sales nest god.
Gotta do a flip.
I don't
I'm
care
stalling
who
for
God
time.
sends. I'm not paying my taxes.
But they send Oleander.
I don't care who God sends. I'm not paying my taxes.
Man, I want you to remember what technically is the thing on my sheet that says foreclosure.
True.
There it is. Her name is Tesa Karlov. She is known for being an individual actually from the Boros Legion who was known for, shall we say, attempting to take over the Obzedat. But current rumors that you both have heard is that she is revered in certain sects of the Orzhov for, and I quote, bringing in new members from other guilds and leading people to convert. For Victor, that is, you know of the name Tesa Karlov, but that name doesn't mean too much to you, and that would make sense. Kyle, that's a pretty lady. That is a very pretty lady.
I could build that.
I actively predicted this, and I am pulling up the art to drop in the Discord for everybody.
Aw.
Card art. She is actually one of the many named magic cards.
Mm.
Ooh.
There we go. But please continue.
The 4 individuals escorting you all actually proceed to wave you on and lead you all the way down this giant, and I do mean giant, hall. Back around the back of the fountain, where there is an inconspicuous hidden door. And the reason I say this is because you approach this giant art piece of sculpture of gold plaque hanging on the wall, and one of the 4 of them goes up and knocks on a very specific brick, and the door the plaque of gold lowers and swings open. They proceed to wave you all down. And it is in this moment where 3 of the 4 escorts proceed to vanish into the crowd, leaving only the one that approached Oleander. Come on. Sorry, I realize that the three of you don't know me, but we do need to. Time is of the essence. Please, we need to hurry.
No, y'all ought to put some oil on that thing, she says, pointing at the hinges.
If we put oil on it, unfortunately, it will deteriorate the metal, and we really don't want to have to replace it.
You would
Well,
not,
I mean,
you would not believe how much gold we go through just because it's tarnished.
I got a special blend back at my forge. If at some point y'all need something, you can always come to me.
Why,
She
sure.
says, putting her hands on her hips and just kind of straightening her head a little bit, like, I'm the savior of the day. I can do this.
Finnegan will simply keep to himself, try to absorb all the details of the holy stock market as he's walking through. Incredulous eyes just for keeping track of where people are, as he will reach for a fresh cigar and make sure that for every exhale that the smoke goes everywhere.
Victor will make sure to be walking. Victor will make sure to
I'm
be.
sorry. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you're fine.
I was just gonna make a quick joke. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there no smoking in here?
No, there's a lot of smoking in here. Points to the mini incense burners and censers in the ceiling.
No,
Oh,
that was
ooh.
just in my face. Sorry. I'll stop breathing now.
Finnegan will just kind of lightly chuckle to himself as he goes back to smoking.
What did you want to do, Cedric?
Yeah, Victor will make sure to be at the bottom of the of our, like, I don't know if we're walking in line in a group, but he will make sure to be at the back of it. Like, we do not know each other, right?
We do not know each other. No.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this is new. These are strangers. You don't know anyone here. And furthermore, you don't, despite the letter, which at this point, Vaughn, if you want to close it out from the stream, which, mind you, Oleander did not receive a letter. I should point that out very quickly for clarity. Oleander was the only one who did not receive the letter. But for those of you who did, it strikes you as odd. The letter says that you have the skills, qualities, and motivations, but does not strictly state what these qualities, skills, and motivations are, but that you specifically were selected. Even you, Pyle, it strikes you as odd. You know, you mentioned before, they didn't call you by name, and you don't know the names of anyone around you.
No, Pila's gonna kind of look at her little ragtag group of newly met acquaintances, and she's gonna kind of pull this crumpled scroll out of her pocket and kind of open it as if it has the answers. And then she'll look at them and be like, "So, did you guys get this letter too?"
I
What is
did,
it?
actually.
Or is one of you...
no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Victor
Sorry,
will
go ahead,
slowly...
Zacho. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay, Citric.
Yeah. Victor will slowly take off the piece of paper from within his robes to just, like, show it to the rest.
And Finnegan will reach into his coat pocket and produce his with his free hand, just crumpled in between his fingers.
So is one of y'all Ashleby Simpwell?
Oh, he's not gonna like that.
No, I'm not Ashley Simpleton.
I should inform you.
No.
Mispronouncing his name is a very quick way to end your life, and that won't end your service to him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. My eyes aren't
no.
too good anymore.
Oh no, please. I totally get it. I hate him too. But unfortunately, he's also one of the most powerful people in this entire district. So we really shouldn't keep him waiting. Time is money, and, well, you really don't want him running up a debt.
It dawns on you as you're saying this that they were handed probably a letter of employment. And Oleander, you don't know what it says. And the fact that you don't know what it says because you didn't receive one is very concerning.
Yes, it is very concerning, but he also knows that when Ashby Simwell calls for him, he kind of has to show up because the rest of the group doesn't know, but I will drop this a little bit. He may have a relationship with Oleander that is very complicated and very toxic. But he will kind of just mosey over to Pyle. While we're going, would you mind if I just take a look at that? Just a peek. Just reaching for it, but not taking it because, like, he really wants to look at it, but he's also very anxious about new people.
It's not me. We're sitting here with this fucking mental image of this kid, like, both hands grabby hands up at Pyle, like, fucking Pyle looking at this kid. Does he want uppies? What's going on here?
Oh, no.
Mom, I can't reach the top shelf.
No, like he's moved around to the side, and like he's kind of like got like a hand in the approximate area of your shoulder. Remember, he's much smaller than you, and he's again he's reaching up towards the paper, making like a 2-finger grabby motion, like could you just bring it over here? Just let me see, like that.
She'll kind of reach down and she'll put her hand on the top of his head. Calm down, little Colt. Here you go, and she'll hand it to him.
He will very much do the teenager of instantly trying to fix his hair and then be like, okay. And he reads it. How many red flags does this throw up for me, Ceres?
I will reread it, just for everyone's sake. It reads, Dear recipient, it has been brought to our attention that you, the recipient of this letter, possess the skills, qualities, and proper motivation to fulfill an employment opportunity on behalf of the Orzhov Syndicate and its officiates. If you so choose to learn more about this opportunity, the renown that you will acquire, as well as your tangible reward, please make your way to the Great House of Trades in the 3rd Precinct of the city of Ravnica at your earliest convenience. Failure to reply in any manner will result in tangible ramifications and the potential ineligibility for future employed opportunities, adventures, escapades, payment, affiliation, cooperation, alliances, amicableness, afterlife benefits, and other positively aligned and connotated consequences, future coincidences, miracles, and otherwise otherworldly interventions notwithstanding. With the utmost, sincerest, best, and kindest regards, Pontiff Ashby Simwell.
There's going to be a moment where you just see Ollie close his eyes, bring the paper close to his face, and just start shaking. Like, he really wants to scream into this paper, but he can't. We should probably go see exactly what he wants very quickly.
You know, I agree. That letter's awful hard to read. All the swirly, scripty writing and whatnot. They should really print it more clearly. She says, nodding in agreement.
Agreement with herself. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. She's just nodding like, yes, this is fucking hard to read, man. Who reads cursive anymore, honestly?
How dare you call me out, Amanda? But yeah, Ollie will just be kind of like joining with the other. I'm gonna like, is this guy? I'm just gonna assume he's another advocist.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just in full, like, just yep. Come this way. Let's just get this over with and find out about this job that apparently you all qualify for, and I have no choice in taking.
Pyle will look down at fucking Finn. What kind of skills and quality do you think they're after? I'm just a forge mistress.
Finnegan will do a look-see on everybody, and just from a surface level view, can I roll anything to determine, like, okay, you look like you're good at that, you look like you've got some of that?
I would say insight. And for the 3 of you that he's getting a read on, I would say your choice of, if you're trying to hide yourself, deception, of course. If you are trying to shall we say, be above and beyond, in terms of like over the top performance, I would allow, but otherwise just a general persuasion of like who you are. Go ahead and roll.
All right.
I mean, Pyle's not gonna hide who she is. She literally looks like, and she kind of smells like she just walked in from a forge.
Victor very much wants not to be noticed. And that's a
That's a-
3!
That's a
It's not-
24
that's-
insight.
Perfect.
This feels very appropriate, actually. So I will, since you managed to, with flying colors, read everyone like a book. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Pyle, since you said that you're not hiding literally anything. What's the general read that Finnegan would get off of you as a stranger?
As a stranger, she is obviously wearing Boros colors, but which is kind of, I guess, really out of place for Boros, considering Centaur don't belong to that guild at all, ever. But she's wearing, she has a chest plate and some armor on, but it's hidden by this heavy apron that's covered in burns. She's got like some scarring on her hands. She's definitely dirty. She looks like she just got done mucking around in soot and ash. So she definitely looks like she's from the forge, and she smells like she's from the forge. A little smoky, a little bit like raw metal materials. And plus, she'll just straight out, "I'm from the forge." But nonetheless, she seems really friendly. Just unabashedly friendly.
How about Victor?
Well, Victor is, again, like, he dresses to try to cover as much of himself as possible. Like, what's, like, inevitable to hide is the fact that you look at his feet, and, like, those are bug-like claws, and his face that peeks from the cloak, like, patched with pieces of chitin and sinew over his face. And moreover, even if, like, his huge stature and, like, the hanging cloak is basically just a big, like, black silhouette there, you can tell that there is more going on under the robes. Like, you will likely put together that with the bug features, like, there are extra arms under there. And you can clearly hear the clanging of axes on his belt. A lot of axes.
To Oleander.
Well, I would say that probably he would have noticed it the most, but whenever Oli is nearby anyone, the temperature drops ever so slightly. And you'd probably now, like, I'm imagining him just doing that "please walk this way" pose, like, towards, like, the doorway that leads to where we need to go. And you would definitely see, like, small things flitter behind him that you would swear are faces. They might be ghosts, but that's not uncommon for any Orsop building, but they seem to localize around him.
All right.
Yes, Will Smith Handy.
The door, please go through it!
As Finnegan is taking in everybody's details, he will look back to Pyle to answer her question. Who knows? Maybe they need a couple of clowns for Arachno's circus act.
That's a deep cut.
Pyle will just kind of cock her head slightly. You don't much look like a clown. A little too put together for one, honestly.
Oh, I'm very funny. Trust me.
She'll kind of brighten up a little bit. Oh, good. Nice to meet you, neighbor. And
Finnegan
she'll hold
will
her hand
offer-
down.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Finnegan will respond and shake hands as we're still walking. Finnegan Faulkner.
Finnegan, I'm Pyle. And she has a crushing grip, and she's not even trying to hurt him, but she has a grip that could probably rip a phone book in half easily.
Oh, good thing we rolled for these, because if we went with my original 8 strength, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have fingers.
Mind you, she's not trying to hurt him. It's just a natural grip.
Oh no, my characters are just usually wimps.
Ah,
I actually have
Now
some
you're
from this
fine.
from Discworld. I can imagine your handshake is like a boxing glove full of walnuts.
just casually cracks them between her knuckles. Ooh, nutty. And she'll turn her gaze to Victor. How about you? I'm Pyle, and she'll offer him a hand. Well, the other hand. She has her hands crossed across her person. Finn on one hand, and she's offering the other to Victor.
And again, maintains the grip to see how she pulls this off.
She just casually lifts him off of his feet as she reaches for Victor.
Was it Mickey Mouse that had he had his two hands crossed and they're like wildly shaking and they look like noodle arms?
Probably.
Because that's what I'm imagining Pyle looked like at this moment, with one arm that's just continuously shaking and the other that's reaching out like, please take my hand.
Yeah, Victor will stand there for a second, look at your hand. You can see the gears turning as he slowly brings his hand from under his cloak. And now you can see, again, like, very bug-like, like covered in pieces of chitin. He will grab yours. I am Victor.
Victor, nice. Good meeting you. And she'll give him a good firm shake, and then she'll let go of both of them.
Yeah, Victor will also, like, naturally. He has a grip as strong as yours.
It's that fucking scene from Predator.
Yeah.
Dylan, you old son of a bitch.
Yeah, Finnegan will let go as the introductions are made. And you there, young man, as he points to Ollie.
You're gonna see, like, he really didn't want to give away his name. He was hoping that he could get out of this some way, possibly, hopefully. Oleander Bedford, I doubt you've heard of me.
Oh, can I test that?
Sure. Roll a history check.
18.
So here's what I will tell you. The name Oleander rings 0 bells. But the name Bedford does. Bedford is a prominent name in the Orzhov Syndicate. And while you don't necessarily know too much about the inner workings and the inner politics of the Orzhov, you understand that having the last name of, or having the family name of any major Orzhov family is nothing to sneeze at. It is not a small thing by any stretch of the imagination.
As Oleander mentions, you haven't heard of me, Finnegan will just kind of look at him like the Samuel Jackson, like, oh really? Glance back, as then he just goes, Bedford, that's one of the top names in the Orzhov, ain't it?
It used to be, yes.
Oh, I'll treat you with the respect that you so kindly deserve.
You'd be the first.
He is not hiding that he's lying.
And that's why immediately he's going back with full, like, gallows honesty. You would be literally the first. And he is now he's more aggressively Will Smith handsing at the door. Can we please get this over with?
Hey. Breathe. Take it slow. We're just enjoying each other's company. As he will proceed through the door and give him a quick, like, pat on the shoulder.
As you may be inclined to notice by the change in audio, you are no longer in a big cathedral, shall we say, atrium anymore. You find yourself now in what I can only describe to be a narrow, bricked hallway. Following behind this other individual who really is also like, I thought you were coming. We're supposed to be coming. Please come. Please come. Faster, please. Kind of energy about them while saying nothing. You notice that your own footsteps echo in this hallway as you open into yet another, but much, much smaller open room held up by columns. Instead of seeing what you'd expect is like, oh, another statue. Oh, another. Is instead a rather ornate marble staircase that heads it's a spiral staircase that heads downward, and I actually have a reference to throw in our chat. but I will describe it for those who are just here for the listen. It is a spiral staircase made entirely of marble. Like, it is smooth, carved marble with what appears to be gold railings headed downward. And the entirety of the area around you is just it's just stone. It's just stone. And if you follow downwards, this starts to feel more and more crypt-like or vault-like as you continue to descend downward. Before I get us into the next room, is there anything that you all want to say, want to do in this rather very abrupt change in scenery? And if not, I will just continue.
Pila's gonna make sure everybody goes ahead of her as she looks at the stairs and goes, "Oh no."
Yeah. If you were
All
gonna-
right. Everybody hears her go, "Okay, we practiced this. We got this." And then she'll just make sure everybody is at least a couple feet ahead of her before she starts going down, like one step at a time.
It's hard. Like, this is smooth on your clippy cloppy hoop. This is scary. Like, legitimately, this is terrifying.
Every step she just goes, almost, almost, almost.
I also
I'm just gonna have my hand over the deck save button real quick.
also, Saris, I just remembered something, so I'm just going to give you the heads
Mhm.
up. I'm keeping the vizier as my spirit.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we forgot that we got to do that like the start of every session.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh.
necessarily know if it was going to be needed for this session, but yes, we'll do that in the future for sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be going to talk to him, yes, I want an extra D4 on any like checks for.
You know what? I support you because honestly, and you find yourself making your way into. I hate to say it because this is what this feels like. You ever get pulled into a corporate office?
Oh God.
Yes.
Because that's what this feels like, except I need you to make the office gaudy. I need you to make it look like it's a combination of we are in stone underground, and also the person who designed this place probably was born in the 30s, 40s, or 50s and really likes giant, ornate, gaudy ornaments and decora, and it's just, like, fake. And that's the thing. Specifically, you don't need to roll this, and especially you, Pyle, don't need to roll this. You would think for an organization like Orzhov that they would use a lot of, like, the real thing, but it dawns on you that all of these stones are fake. All of the gems are fake. This metal is also probably just, like, I don't know, tinfoil aluminum that's got gold leaf on it.
So we've left the Vatican. I've entered Rapture.
Uh-huh. And I will now
Pile's stopping on the staircase to just kind of look at the handle, look at the fucking bar, and go, "I think this is fake."
And
Scratcha,
as
scratcha.
you
It is
walk
fake.
in, you notice that there are 3 chairs, and forgive me, but there is a little, for lack of a better word, little horse, sort of, railing. Like, it's a little banister that's, like, literally on wheels. Like, someone specifically made it and brought it in here specifically for you, knowing that you would be here.
Someone literally got paid to make this short notice.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And is it gaudy as hell too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Oh, good. I found an active image of fucking Pile going down these stairs.
Yeah.
That's
That's
adorable.
yep. 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 Correct.
Well, as soon as,
And yeah.
I was just gonna say, as soon as we see the chairs, like whoever's standing next to Oleander, will notice as a small like wind circles around him, as if possibly a spirit just passed over him. As instinctively, protection from evil and good, specifically undead.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. And as your magic goes off, it's very interesting because when your magic goes off, you all collectively notice, yes, including Pyle, that a couple of the gems in the chandelier that is above you light with a dim blue light. Your magic is not obstructed, but something has definitely happened because you cast a spell.
Oh, I assume that everything is being monitored.
And yeah,
I don't know, Finnegan was just gonna look up at the chandelier that lit up. Well, at least those are real.
you will find that most of the things that we keep that are real are not accessible to the normal public. And it is at this moment that your collective gaze falls to the person sitting behind the desk. Which now in your handouts, see
Ooh,
this person.
a lad.
Sitting there, refined, looking like he's here for business. The gentleman sits there with full beard, brown hair slicked into a back long ponytail where you can clearly tell he's been hard at work today but has to look refined and well kept, if you will, for continuing his job. There is just a hint of dead inside in his gaze, but he looks to you predominantly wrapped in his cloak and, of course, a very ornate Orzhov brooch clasped together. And he looks to the four of you and goes, I do apologize on behalf of the Pontiff that he could not make your acquaintance and have an audience with you today. I will be fulfilling that duty on his behalf. In this moment, Oleander, you recognize this individual to be a Mastiff, which, for those unfamiliar, is about, if I remember correctly, third highest in the general ranking, in the general hierarchy of renown of Yep. So this is someone who is, what, I think he's like 1 or 2 ranks above you?
He would be 2 ranks above me because I believe it goes. Well, actually, no, because I'm not actually properly ranked. The fact I'm an advocate means I can get a rank. So he's like, he is well above me. Like, I'm not even a syndic.
He's well above you then, yes. He's third. He's ranked third. So first, second, third. He is ranked third in the hierarchical ranking of Orzhov renown and power. And he looks to the four of you and goes, forgive me for not introducing myself properly as you walked in, and I'm glad to see that you all making yourself mostly comfortable. You may call me Augusto. Augusto Du Bois is my full name. I, for the interim, will be enacting, again, on behalf of your employer. I assume you all received, well, with the exception of you, Oleander, your letter.
Yep, Finnegan will present the letter in between his hands again and then reach for a handshake. Nice to meet you, Mr. Dubois. My name's Finnegan Faulkner, though I guess you probably already knew that.
Indeed, and it's kind of pompous, honestly, the way that he takes your hand, very like intentionally not trying to touch your hand, but like giving you the handshake, and he gives you the gentlest, the slightest of up downs.
Finnegan just takes it in stride and walks over and gladly sits into one of the chairs and just blazes.
Seeing that this man is open to handshakes, Pyle will fucking clip-clop her ass up there and be like, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Du Bois. And she will grab him by the hand and do the fucking manliest handshake that this man has probably ever experienced in his fucking life.
Oh, absolutely. And you can all collectively that he's cringing at it, and like, you ever see in the in cartoons when the person will like squeeze the fingers and the fingers will like break? It's not that, but like that energy is what is happening. And he's just like, gentle up down. Gentle.
Oh, there is no gentle. Pyle is basically shaking this man's entire arm, and when she lets him go, he's just covered. His whole hand is probably just covered in soot.
It's red. It's also like bright red, like inflamed. Like,
Oh,
like this man is sensitive, and who time he is the light of day.
oh, and seeing that his hand is red, she go, oh, heck, I'm sorry about that. Do you need a hand? And she'll like her hands will kind of glow a little bit with which what would be cure wounds basically. And she's just like, do you need a hand? Do you need 2 hands? Do you need 2 hands with that? She says, offering her hands forward.
He kind of wipes his own hand and just looks at you with like the smallest hint of disdain in his eyes. I'm quite all right, thank you.
Okay, well, if you change your mind, then her hands will stop glowing, and she'll turn around, but it's a wide turn, and her back end kind of thumps against that. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I
imagine your tail like sweeps against the top of the desk and takes like an inkwell, and you can see him like scrambling. I'm actually gonna roll a dex save for him if he's actually natural 20. He like sweeps his arm in and like grabs with both hands all of the things that your tail just like nearly takes to the floor, and he just very carefully and meticulously puts them back in place.
And she'll look up behind her. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Not used to such little human squishy places, as she says, because her whole lower half, she's basically a Clydesdale with a woman on top, and she like fucking kind of does her best to gently clip-clop to this fucking centaur, and she just very carefully, very slowly, just kind of lowers her back end and gently crosses her hands over her midsection, like, yep. We're not going to move from this spot.
Whoops. There we go. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
And he just kind of looks to the other two, Victor and Oleander, and like almost questioning whether or not either of you is going to try to shake his hand.
Oleander
was just standing there, glaring.
And Oleander is basically just trying to do the basic... I'm going to say this is the Orzhov problem of Interguild of I am going to have to try to act like I am all that and a bag of chips while also being as obsequious as possible. So he just kind of gets into the chair and just tries to have the most like straight-backed, like making eye contact pose with this guy, probably steepling his hands, but also trying not to have a panic attack.
Sure.
The new interview spot.
Absolutely.
Finnegan will immediately see the logic problem and will look at Victor and then look at the chair. Was the chair made for him?
It was.
Okay.
But much like the little rail, yes, it's like ornament in nature and very decorated. It is cozy, but it is very much like this was probably put together very last minute to ensure that he had a place to sit.
Victor will take notice of like the size matching him, but he's not sitting, he's standing.
Okay. I assume that you all probably have questions as to what your assignment will be. So I figured I'd at least start by giving you a brief overview of what we know. It appears that one of our vaults has been broken into. The funny thing is that the things that have been stolen are not of such high enough value that we had to send in, shall we say, top enlisted employees. However, the way that things were broken into and the specific items that were stolen, magic items that were stolen, we've come to determine that we will need the expertise of more than just our own employees. That's where you come in.
Oh, so you need someone to fix the door. Ah, heck, I can do that. I just didn't bring my tools. Give me a little bit of time, I can go back and get them. She says like she's getting ready to stand back up.
No.
Pal, I think he's saying he wants our help in finding out the hows and the wheres.
Oh.
And the who. See, the thing that I find particularly concerning is they managed to get in. They managed to take what they did. They managed to wreak carnage. They left and were lost without a trace somewhere in the underground sewer of Ravnica. No one has seen them since.
Finnegan will lean forward a bit and gesture to everyone. Do you guys mind if I ask a few questions? This is kind of my thing.
Pyle will gesture at him. Be my guest. You look like one of them brainy types. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Victor will just look a little and nod.
Finnegan will lean forward and grab the letter just to go over a few of the extra points. So, before we talk the nitty gritty of what exactly transpired and those involved and whatnot, I just had a few concerns about what exactly, well, what our reward is and, well, of course, the possibility should we say no to this, what would the consequences therein be? I'm not saying I'm going to say no, I just want to know what the risk of everything is before I hit the yes.
He looks you dead in the eye and says, I will expose what guild you belong to if you say no.
Finn just tight lips over the cigar, takes it out, and just puts out the lit on the edge of his boot, politely puts it back into his coat, and leans back into the chair. Very well.
As for your reward, each of you will be rewarded handsomely. 100 gold pieces plus 1 magic item of your choosing from our 5th magic item vault.
Above game, how good is that vault to someone who actually works here?
It's like common to uncommon magic items. So, like, it's not rare, but they're not bad.
Yeah, but we're not getting a full booby prize, but I want to know how much they're lowballing us.
It's not Vault 7.
Fair. Well, he's just going to think that to himself. Fair. And in all honesty, I can't really afford any of that, so that is actually pretty nice. Can I get something for the apartment?
Very well. In that case, can you tell me what items were stolen?
Yeah, actually, and that's the interesting part. So there were 5 items that were stolen. One, well, they stole an orb of shielding.
Okay.
2, well, more like 2 through 4. They stole 3 soul coins. I would like Oleander to roll me with advantage a history check or an arcana check of your choosing.
Let me see here. History is actually better. That's very rare for me. Actually, it shouldn't be. No, they are the same. I was looking at a different score. Oof, I'm just gonna, throw my Vizier roll onto that. Okay, so a 9.
I'll still give you at least this. Soul plus coin. I'm sure you can probably put 2 and 2 together as to the implications of the term soul coin and the fact that 3 of them were stolen.
He will probably think
Alright.
of it. He'll probably think of it this way. Well, it's probably not so much that the coins were stolen; it's who's in the coins, and if they might be useful later.
So we've got Orb of Shielding, 3 coins. What was the 5th item?
Referred to as the Eye of Arcane, not to be mistaken with Arcane.
I'm truly drawing a blank on that one. Can I roll anything to figure out what
Yeah.
that is?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Yeah. Ooh. 16.
Eye of Arcane, not to be mistaken with Arcane Eye. Perhaps it's an artificial eye that functions like an arcane eye. In other words, it is a magic item that is constantly utilizing the spell Arcane Eye, but it's an artificial eye that you put in your face.
As Finnegan's going over the items stolen, does anything immediately jump out over any commonality between these?
Well, one thing's for certain, none of them are offensive. They don't do things like, oh, if you touch this, it'll do an attack. None of them are weapons. They're all either status related, defensive, or, well, again, if you put 2 and 2 together, soul and plane.
Alright, so no weapons stolen. Each of these are more practical uses. Finnegan's just kind of twiddling the put out cigar in his finger, just trying to look at all together. When did this occur?
3 days ago.
All right. This is just me being thorough because of the type of character Finnegan is. Let's see here. Where was it? With my keen mind, with anything within the last 30 days I've seen or heard, did anything in particular notable occur 3 days ago that's publicly known or something that might have passed by?
Yeah, I would say. Well, I would say that you heard rumors for sure, and on the, shall we say, web of information that you are in route of, in trade of, you definitely heard of commotion happening at the, now that you think about it, the Great House of Trade. There was also a mild earthquake that happened in the 3rd precinct that day.
And you said 3rd precinct. Where are we at right now?
In the 3rd precinct.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yes.
Huh, that's funny, because 3 days ago there was a bit of an earthquake here in this precinct. Think it might be correlated?
Yes, unfortunately, and I admit to inform you that I've been given permission by my superiors to allow you time at the crime scene if you so wish, where I think you will draw some conclusions as to why that earthquake might have happened.
Alright, perfect. We'll get started on that if any of you guys have questions, as he gestures to the rest of everyone. This is a team effort here.
Pyle is kind of rubbing her chin as she's clearly listening, and a lot of it is very much going over her head. And when Finn kind of motions, she'll go, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing where everything happened. You got any other of them soul coins that I could have a look at? 'Cause I might be able. I'm real good at finding things. I just need to see what they kind of look like first. You know, kind of manhandle them a little."
We do, fortunately, and you will, assuming you do take this mission, you will find more of them in that same vault that was broken into.
She'll bob her head. Ah, good, cool. Excellent. And she'll look at Victor, between Victor and Ollie.
1 second here. I guess I need to take a drink before I ask this. I mean, you got me when I was halfway to my mouth, okay? But, Oli will actually steeple his fingers and get a little bit of a backbone. He just kind of looks up to Augusto and is just like, I think I can figure out what family crypt was broken into, but could you confirm the name?
You're not going to like it.
I don't like any of this.
It was your family crypt.
Wonderful, wonderful. So glad it took 3 days to find out about this.
We were working very diligent to make sure that we had clearance from those even above the pontiff to see whether or not you were suitable for this assignment.
Well, goody for me.
He glances now over to Victor, almost expectantly.
Victor just looks down. He's been listening to all of this, of course. You have all of us by name.
Yes.
You had this team in mind.
Yes.
Just confirming.
We believe that each of you, with your skills, qualities, knowledge, and your motivations, glances to you, Oleander, glances to you, Finnegan, glances to you, Pyle, and makes this, makes a small nod and says, the justice of doing good, for example, are all legitimate reasons to pick you specifically. Plus, each of you bear connections, affiliations, have specific, shall we say, benefits that either come from, looks to Oleander, being in the Orzhov Syndicate, or to our detriment, not being in the Orzhov Syndicate.
You need me to guide them underground.
I'm so glad that we are on the same page. And he says that with this smile that's just a hint, just a smidgen of sinister nature behind it.
Fine. I can do that.
Excellent. I'm pleased to hear that.
I do
Now.
have one last question.
Of course.
And I'm sure I know the answer to this, but I just have to make sure because it means I might have to make a visit. Has anyone informed my grandfather?
He was the first to be informed once we identified which vault had been broken in.
Well, now I don't have to talk to him. Thank you.
He offers you a nod, and I'd like you to roll an...
Did you say insight? You cut off right there.
Yeah, insight, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Like, we'll troubleshoot all this later. Like, it's actually been really good for a while now. 18 both ways.
Yeah. It's a very sympathetic nod, actually. This is the first time that this man has offered any sort of non-business emotion, even though it's very subtle. He does actually offer you a note to your comment about not having to speak to your grandfather.
Well, outwardly, he is still very... Nonplus is one of my favorite words, because it fits so many of my characters. But he will file away the actual sympathy, because it's so rare.
Now, are there any other questions, complaints, quandaries?
Not until we see that vote.
Very well. And he physically stands up. I shall lead you that way. And that is actually where I think it's time for a break.
Oh,
I'm
wonderful.
so
Oh,
glad.
yay.
Now I can also add
Lovely.
everyone's pictures to the break screen.
Yeah. I will actually be right back.
Same.
Yeah, same here.
As always, I will stagger my break with everyone else's. But
For sure.
hey guys, how you enjoying this game? I think people are really enjoying it because this is one of the higher, more attended streams that we've had. So this has been great.
I've been seeing some familiar faces.
Oh yeah, no, like I had a feeling Blake's Potatoes was gonna be like one of your group.
Uh-huh.
Like, because I have the advantage of, like, when people sub off, like, not sub, but follow off stream, it still shows up in my activity feed. I was like, oh, okay, yep, oh, hey, there's a person who, like, I've seen before, like posts on Twitter, now they're here, yep, okay, yeah. And plus, it's also hard not to notice Kaz. Like, it's literally their name on Twitch. They were the
I
first.
think that's liking Wes or Wes. Yeah, no worries. Happy to see you catch the VOD in the future.
Yeah, if you want,
Um,
it'll also be up on the YouTube where that in a playlist that will be starting. Because this set we've talked about, this will possibly be up to around 10ish sessions with a little wiggle room of if we beat stuff early or if we have to go a little bit longer. But yeah, there'll be a full playlist up once we get everything going, and I have to try to remember to upload yesterday's pack tactics tonight. Probably won't happen. I'm probably going to fall asleep very soon after.
But yeah, I've seen a couple of familiar faces, and I know that there are a couple on my end that are very excited that they couldn't come and watch us live. So I'm excited to see what people think.
Oh yeah, and honestly, again, drop YouTube comments. I love actually seeing, like, that's probably one of my favorite things about Saved by the Spell is how many people actually like it and want to comment about it. And I'm just like, ah,
I am back.
thank you.
And
Nudge.
with
Okay.
Zako being back, I'm also gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
You're our tag partner, Zako. Thank you.
Yes, I am the showman. I don't know.
The man with the show. The show with the man.
Several shows, really. Doesn't matter. I booked 3 wrestling shows. 2 of them are mine.
That's a lot of books.
But yes, I hope everybody's been enjoying the show so far.
Yeah. Love having
do-
everyone here.
I do apologize if it seems like if I started dominating the scene a little bit there. Is just this is what my boy he do.
Absolutely. I specifically make my character to step back and let everyone else do the talk. That's a concept
I've been
with
having-
the character I'm playing on Thursdays. That I often feel really bad because I think Ther and myself often want to go for the interactions, but like yeah, he's a social character, so we often like it's hard to not go over each other. And even here, like we are getting a lot of crosstalk, and that is just how things are.
That's
Yeah.
the nature of Discord latencies because everyone has a different latency based on region as well as your ping back.
I mean,
Mhm.
more than latency is the difference of playing IRL versus doing it online. Because of like IRL, all you have to do is like raise your hand or like link forward, like you have a queue there.
Well, I can
Here
also
is silence until someone breaks it.
True. I can also do this. Give me a second. I was thinking about doing it, and then like because we're all a bunch of very excitable people, so this is a trick that Tart taught me to do.
A raise hand like
Yep.
system.
It is a text chat here. Since for you guys that'll be much easier because you can actually see Discord while we play. Me, I've got to juggle all the stuff, but speaking stick basically exists so that way you can type in, just be like, you could throw in just a reaction, but basically it's just a way to show the DM that hey, I want to say something or let everybody know, so that way we don't just keep talking over, and because we want everybody to have the same experience here.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tart actually implemented that for Web of Deceit, and something that depending on each group, I add into my own game servers now.
We can fiddle with that after the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, learning on the fly may be complicated. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I've been having a blast with this so far.
Yeah.
Also, I want to point out the NPC art is done by our lovely DM, who, after every time they finish one, they would be like, I want to show you this, but I can't!
On that note, just for a visual aid, like it's still a sketch. Like a lot of it's still work in progress, but give it people something to go off from, like more than just descriptions.
Oh, yeah. It's always great when you can see just like an image and be immediately like, okay, yeah, shorthand, visually. Because then you just picture everybody. And also, well, again, thanks Citric for the headshot art, which he literally did in 30 minutes before we went live. People, always be kind to your artists. Like, Citric, I am so sorry you had to do that. Like, I wish we could have given you more time. If I would have known you were under the gun.
I mean, no, it's the general overlay will look like more put together for next session. Like for now, this is like just a minor variant of the Warlock one we had yesterday. Just time is always the enemy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, we're literally in the guild where time is money. You will be billed.
No, but what I meant about the like visual references is I dropped the current state of the group image on call chat.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, okay.
Hello, I've returned.
Welcome back.
Hi. Sorry.
All good.
Sorry, I had to
We
make
are
a
all back.
I had to make a very strange snack platter.
Okay, I have to ask.
Uh-huh.
Vaughn, are you the reason I sneezed when
Probably, yes. I might have pointed out that you are the one responsible for the NPC images, and how during a good portion of every time you were making one, you would message me and be like, oh, I got another one done! I want to show you!
Yeah. No, that's
I wanna
yeah.
know, can you show me?
Like, we became friends based on basically we hung out in the same streams, which were always night streams, and finally be like, okay, one of us is going to play the chicken of this person seems cool, we had to talk, and I fell on that grenade, and they're just like, yes, night people with similar interests. Which is also how me and Amanda became friends.
It's true. I remember the exact conversation we had. We were
Yeah.
we were talking about fucking Sentai and Kamen Rider, and you were like, name your top 5 Kamen Rider right fucking now. Forze, Double, Build, and Gaim. And your exact words were, Amanda, you're married, stop flirting with me.
Because you named literally the Kamen Rider I started with. My favorite Kamen Rider's at the top, which again, Uchukita. And
Absolutely.
and also have Double in there. I mean, Build was still new, so I hadn't watched Build. I actually still need to finish Build.
It's really good.
Oh yeah, Build is top tier. But also, me, Saris, and as well as Wiley and Wand, when we finally have time and our schedules will like align, like the Eclipse, have also been going through X8 again, and just experiencing that with people who haven't seen it is so fun.
Bro, I tried watching X8, but like it triggered my ADHD so bad. I'm like, oh my god, there's way too much going on. I can't watch this right now.
Okay, Manda, it does simplify. Like, it's like every Kamen Rider, it's super gimmicky at the start, but then when they get into the main mechanics of it's a multi-rider show and what their setup's gonna be, it cools down. Also, you have to, because it has one of the greatest Kamen Rider characters ever, and it's played by an actor who loves playing him, so he has been in like everything since.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I think the last one that I finished was 01.
That's when I also need to start. Like, I've started a bunch of Riders with my friends as an excuse of I need to watch these, and my friends are willing to watch Kamen Rider with me. So I've also been enjoying Saber.
I think I caught like the first 2 episodes of Saber, but like I think it was the unnecessary CG that kind of turned me off to it. But I would recommend 01. The fucking opener is a banger. I love me a dumbass himbo MC. All he wants to do is be a fucking comedian, and I love that his fucking side rider is kind of this grumpy, I don't follow any rules but my own lone wolf type. But the second the MC buffs out a pun, he's dying inside. He can't. He's trying so hard. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I'm like, I love this dynamic. Let's fucking go.
Listen, Robot, later I can give you a link and you can start 4s, and then you'll be on the same wavelength as all of your friends. Because
Yes, Wes, you do need to finish Forza.
Yes, it is definitely up there with Kamen Riders that had no business of making you want to cry to openly weeping at the ending.
Mm-hmm. Look, I need to get my shelves up here so that I can put Nadeshko up next to my desk. Because currently she's somewhere safe because there's literally nowhere safe in my house right now.
I feel for you. I'm still glad that you have that. Like, the second I got you for that Secret Santa, I was like, I have to. Amanda, who's your favorite rider? Just curious. I don't know if I'm gonna be spending like a lot of money. Luckily, Nadeshko is a side rider. Okay, it's only SH Figure Arts, like common figures, that I have to worry about.
Oh no, trust me, I'm like super anal about where Nadeshko is at any given fucking moment. Currently, she's on my dresser, surrounded by like a wall of books to be like, nobody touch this. She is fragile. If she moves from this space, somebody dies. 10 out of 10 must protect all the time. Actually, the female side rider in 01 is really cool. Her transformation is really sick.
I also found out that they apparently gave a post-series transformation to best girl from Drive.
Oh?
There was an all-female rider.
Drive, that's what it was. It wasn't Gaim, it was Drive that was on that list.
Oh yeah, Drive. Oh, so good. Yeah,
fucking love Drive.
They did an all-female riders like special from the last like era, which starts around Drive because of how weird our fucking eras have gone. Like, we forget that 7 years has passed since we started watching.
God. Has it been that long? I say, aging to dust as I sit here.
Yeah. Whenever someone who like stays on this channel resubs and be like, holy shit, I've been doing this for 5 years. It felt like I moved into this house 5 years ago, but no, that'd be like 8 years now.
Actually, what's really funny for the writer that came before 01, fucking shit, I can't remember his name. The clock writer.
Zio.
Zio, thank you, Zacho. God bless you. What's really funny is that the guy that played the MC4 Forze really wanted to be in Zio. He really wanted to come back, but he couldn't because he was busy making the Bleach movie.
Yeah, that's also the funny thing. That's also the funny thing about Kamen Rider 4's. Gentaro is literally the only main series Kamen Rider actor whose like popularity went up besides fucking what's his face from Double.
Fucking he was so I think I read in an interview that he was so disappointed he couldn't make it. But honestly, he made a fantastic Ichigo. The Bleach movie, solid. Want to know what's really funny about the Bleach movie? Fucking Kamen Rider Meteor is in it too. Basically, MC and his buddy again.
Okay, well, I do think we have everyone back. Saris, are you good to? Are you good for us to start, or should we vamp more? Because we're all friends here, so we can talk for like an hour.
Yeah. No.
Are you ready to get into it?
Yes. Oh, I am.
Not with that tone. I'm not. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm always ready.
Listen, Manda, you don't have a choice. You're stuck now. I'm in your house. I have a gun. I'm sorry.
But why would you text me in that tone? I'm just kidding.
Also, the goddamn
okay,
walls.
One last thing, Zako.
Citric is right.
Zako,
They're in the walls. They're in the goddamn walls.
Zako, I knew you were a carny. I just didn't know that you were also an indie god.
Yeah.
You're the only other person besides me who'll get that reference. Maybe Robot.
But
I'll divulge how correct you are later.
I will bring us in, but a sound and a little music.
Ooh.
So we get back into the tunnels. If you remember, we ended, for those who have just joined us or are just starting to figure out that our employer, who is not physically here, but our, shall we say, stand-in, Augusto, is leading the party down a set of hallways. Now, this is where things get interesting, because he returns you to the spiral staircase, and you go down one more, finding yourself entering into yet again another stony brick hallway. You hear the sounds of dripping footsteps. Interesting. This time, however, you hear the sounds of people talking, echoing down the hallways. As you take yourself to the right and proceed to go down this very long way, I do have to ask, before we go any further, what is your passive perception?
Oh boy.
That is a
15.
scary question.
16.
13.
21.
No.
Good.
Zako out here overachieving.
Flexing.
I am the brain.
Flexing them big ol' eyes.
And I didn't catch Oleander. What's your passive?
Oh, 15.
15. Pyle and Finnegan. The two of you notice that to your left, there's a little light coming into the hallway. These are lit, like these hallways are lit. They're lit with not torches, but lanterns with these crystals that are glowing from the inside. Various different colors, gold and greens and blues predominantly, and some white light.
Mm-hmm.
But out of this, you see the yellowish, whitish light of almost like a torchlight. And your eyes fall from the light billowing on the floor to a door open, and inside you notice on the floor, like this door is slightly ajar, an accident left it open, and on the floor is what I can only describe to you as a disheveled, broken construct. Its metal head dented inward. One of its little metal arms bent at a wrong angle, and you see what I can only describe to you as arcane residue puddled on the floor as if it was leaking. And the backlit of light, the actual genuine torchlight hitting this thing, strikes you as eerie. But you continue to move forward as you continue to walk.
Finnegan will quickly just point it out. Was that construct broken as a result of the break-in?
Is your question to Augusto?
Yes.
Yeah. As this may be news to you, Oleander, as this is not, as far as I'm aware, and correct me if my understanding is different than yours, Vaughn. that you don't have clearance to this part of the building. And as such, we have to take certain measures, as we can't ignore our employees running about here. And due to some recent issues, we have had to commission a few constructs to help out with the help of our security.
Finnegan will stop. Do you mind if I take a look at it then, just to see if I can tell it got taken out?
I think it would be best if we do that you check it on the way out.
Understood.
Simply because I rather not there's a worker who's supposed to be coming down here in a few minutes to take care of something in that room. I will simply alert them to keep. It's
Understood.
just easier to not get into play when they're trying to do their work. And Augusto shoots a knowing glance over at Leander.
He is
Very
just,
well. Lead the way.
Oleander is just very much just like full, like the gravity of the situation is completely up to him, and he is just like, just wait until I get there. Like, he is very prickly.
You lead into a giant hallway that two openings. They're archway openings. Like a door should be there, but it's not. And there are, much to your chagrin, Pyle, more stairs. Not so many this time, but there are more stairs heading downward. And you are led into what you realize is a giant U-shaped hallway lined with giant slab stone doors, chained closed. You see on each of them, all of you, different arcane circles that are sort of lined on each one of them, and also on the wall next to the chains locked, and on the floor. And as your eyes all collectively, even you, Victor, glance around, you notice chandeliers actually lighting this particular area, in addition to lanterns, very well lit, but all with different types of and gems, and all of them again blue, green. And eventually you come across it sure used to be a door. You see two broken slabs of stone, almost crumbled in its middle. In front of you, you see all of this rubble. You see what I can only describe as
You cut
a
on
crime
it
scene.
as, oh, okay.
A crime scene. Sorry, I blanked on the word.
Oh, you're
No,
fine.
you're fine. You're kind of cutting out a little bit more
No!
frequently.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
it's not
Yeah.
as bad as earlier, but it's a little bit more frequent. So
Right.
It like nicks the beginning of your sentence, but I've been able to track and follow.
I have
Yeah.
I have identified the problem. Hold on a second.
Oh.
Uh-oh, is something not plugged in all the way?
Yes, no.
yeah, we can
Yes,
hear you.
we hear
Maybe
you.
so.
Okay. I touched the cord.
Oh,
Ah.
you got burnt out cord in your mic cable.
Cord. It's not a faulty cord.
Oh,
It's the port. The US.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. So I just shifted it. We'll try this, and if it doesn't work, then yeah, it's a.
okay.
Anyway, so you come across again this giant. Used to be a door, but two broken slabs, not even a half of the door. You see what I can only describe as a crime scene, as there's rubble everywhere. You see the broken chains on the floor, littered everywhere. And you see bones. Yes, bones. You also recognize in this moment that there is what appears to be glass on the floor. as well as cracks in the floor, in the ceiling, and in the wall. And naturally, this is where I turn and ask what you do.
All right. Finian cracks his knuckles, rolls his shoulders, and actually haunches up so that he's leaning back all the way, shoulders up, just actually putting in effort for a little bit. All right. Where does everyone want to start?
Pyle will actually kind of click-clop over to the doors and investigate. Like, she works at a forge, so she has, like, I would assume she would have some kind of knowledge about, like, what will explode, what won't explode, what needs to be stayed away from heat, and she'll just kind of examine to see if was this, like, gunpowder, was this magical.
First, roll me an investigation check.
I would love to. Oh no, come on, Pyle, you can do this, sweetie. Oh, there you go, 14. I
First
knew
and
you could do it.
foremost, because I didn't mention it earlier, but it absolutely catches your eye. There are, in fact, like, and this strikes you as so odd because this is stone. Like, this is stone.
Mhm.
Like, these doors are stone. Why are they burnt? There are scorch marks across the walls, all over the arch where the door should be, all over the rubble. Even on the slabs that are broken on the ground, there are scorch marks.
Sorry, I'm chewing.
Mhm.
The entire group will hear Pal go, huh? Hey, Ollie? Little Colt, and she'll kind of wave at him. Are these special kinds of rocks?
You will see that he has been just like in the doorway, completely unmoving for a while, just like staring specifically at. You said there's bones, probably the desecrated like graves in this actual crypt. What? What was that?
Oh, are these like special kinds of rocks? You know, other than like what you'd find out in nature? And she'll gesture at it with her hand. These rocks are burned. Last I checked, rocks don't burn unless they're like lava rocks. It's only then sometimes they only can to burn.
Well, God, how much would I actually know about a crypt that I probably am legally barred from?
That's a great question. Would you like to roll me a history check with disadvantage?
Why, sure!
Sorry, I love the concept of your grandpa is buried here. No, you're not allowed to see him.
Well, first of all, 14. Next, Vizier rolls. That's a 15. Orzhov crypts are very special for very many reasons, and I would love to talk on that, but we can only do so much.
And Oleander's knowledge is limited, unlike yours, Vaughn. But he does know some things, right? And the biggest thing that strikes you in this is that vaults are not treated the same way that crypts are. Yes, they are both highly secured and very well made, but they're not the same. They're not treated the same in terms of how security is handled. Because the truth is, and you would know this, removing items from a vault is very different than dealing with a dead body. Because a true genius would ignore the fact that there's a dead body there and just raise dead. It can get out on its own, right? Right. Can't let that happen. So, in terms of a vault, you know that these are highly secured areas. You don't necessarily know about the stone to answer Pyle's question, but you do know that there are various physical and arcane security measures, though are top secret for obvious reasons. And only those with security clearance actually understand what they do and how they work. But there are multiple levels. You understand that at minimum, there are usually 4, if not 5 different levels of security acting in in any Orzhov vault at any time. And of course, that's like on the lower end of the spectrum. You know that the highest vaults, the vaults that have the highest security, like essentially the equivalent of like the most powerful objects that the Orzhov would own, have upwards of 10, 15 levels of security.
I would say that this vault had enough security that there shouldn't even be signs of damage in here.
Huh. She'll kind of look around at all the burn and scorch marks. Whatever they used, it blew through all of it. She says, and while she's doing this, she's pointing out like where all the scorch marks are. It must have had a lot of something of whatever it was. And she'll kind of start to move into the vault.
I assume there's a anti-magic type of defense as he gestures like to the ceiling, like where the chandeliers were in the first room.
Is this a question that you are asking Augusto, or are you asking Oleander?
Augusto.
Yes. Our clearance is very secretive, and I can't necessarily tell you exactly how the operations work. There are multiple means of security, both magical and non-magical, anti-magical, anti-magic, and he kind of looks over at Pyle a second and looks over at the stone. Anti-physical, I suppose? There's got to be a better word for that, but it's
Mundane?
escaping. Thank you.
She says, kind of moving carefully throughout the vault, trying not to step on anything that looks fragile.
You don't have to tell me how it works or all that. I'm not here to look at your secrets. I just wonder, can you just point them out so that I can get a range of what might have done this?
Well, that's the thing. He points to the different magic circles that are on the stone slabs. That's one of them. And then he points to the different gems in crystals that are within the lantern, the chandelier. These light fixtures are, as you probably guess, not just... They serve multiple functions.
Are they active right now?
The ones that aren't broken. And at that, as he says that, your eyes are raised from the ground upward, and you realize that the chandelier that is directly by the vault, the one that's directly above all of you, is shattered.
All right, so they knew what the target. And from there, Finnegan will just look around. He does have, like we said earlier, 21 passive perception. He also has 22 passive investigation. So does anything immediately jump out to him?
If you are looking specifically at the chandelier, well, I said glass. Now that you get a better look at it, it's not glass. It's broken, shattered. It's shattered gems. And the thing that strikes out to you is that the ones that are not clear are blue and purple.
Blue and purple. All right.
I'm actually going to take this moment while you're thinking and double back to a comment that you said, Vaughn, about where Oleander's focus.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me an investigation check.
Okie dokie. Let's see if I can make that a little bit better. Roll 20. Okay, so that's a 12.
Yeah, that'll do. You pick up a bone off the ground that you immediately notice looks black, and thinking that, oh, it must be like scorched, like from an explosion or something. Pick up the bone, and it feels ice cold to the touch. And if you tap it with one of your other fingers, part of the black parts actually snaps off in one piece and falls to the ground and then shatters.
I'm going to check something because I know for a fact there shouldn't be anything in here. Despite where we are, it's just because of Oleander's situation. There really should be an absence of this one particular thing because of who he is and what he is. So I'm going to use my Pact of the Spirit ability, Spirit Sense. So first let me just click that. As an action, I can open my awareness to magically detect undead. Until the end of your next turn, you have the location of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover. So specifically, it would only be in this room. And aren't protected by divination magic.
That's the thing, right? Is that you would expect with security, as previously mentioned, that you would sense undead, actually. Because why would they waste actual humanoid resources on guarding this place? You don't. You don't detect any signs of undead. Not even in the bones that you are holding in your hand.
Well, it makes sense that they're not in the bones because, well, he is a walking mausoleum. But he will notice that, again, there's no protection of any kind. Interesting. But, again, he's not super suited, as you can see from the investigation roll, to putting all this together. So he's just trying to file away some things.
It's in this moment, too, that I actually would like Victor, if you are at all paying attention to the two, which I will leave up to you, but if you are, I'd like you to roll an investigation with advantage.
Oh. And yes, Victor has been standing outside of the room, slowly watching everyone, like paying attention to different things. Before rolling, though, I actually have a question. So we see all of the scorching marks that that took down we assume took down the door frame. But is there any scorching damage on the hallway?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked. On the floor and on the ceiling. You also notice, like I said, cracks in the stone, in the floor, and on the ceiling. And because you asked your, I'm going to go ahead and give this. You are a fighter after all. It is your area of expertise, if you will. You notice that there's something very particular about some ways that the scorch marks are angled on the walls, on the ceiling, and on the floor. It's almost like something was shooting at something and missed. Unlike the scorch marks at the physical door and the slab, what is left of it on the floor.
There was a fight here.
I still would
there
like
was-
that investigation check from Victor,
Will
but
do.
feel free to roleplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Investigation. Let's go. That's a 6.
Ow!
Well,
Okay. I was really hoping you would get this. I might give it to you anyway, because screw you, roll 20. I make the I'm gonna ignore that dice roll. Because it's, you know what? Here, let's try this. Give me a perception check this time with advantage.
will do.
It's not like the DC is high on this either. Yes! Okay.
That's a 17.
So there's something very particular as watch Oleander investigating the bones that he notices and activating his invocation. Why is there pollen in there? Is that pollen or is that... No, maybe it's spores. Something about the bone. as he was messing with them, something about them caused some type of very, very hard to see but easy to smell, for you anyway, pollen or spores or something of that nature wafting into the air.
Victor will slowly walk towards Finn, put a hand on his shoulder.
You
Pollen.
see something?
Spores.
Spores.
Yeah, this place. It may have to do with how this happened.
At the mention of spores, and I'm assuming you said there was a fight here out loud as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At the mention of spores, a fight, and the melted stone and the defenses, Finnegan will head back to the entry of the vault, actually towards the hallway at the beginning. All right, so somehow our perpetrators popped in, got into a fight. He'll point to Augusto. Was there any physical defenders, like personnel or one of the constructs that were here?
Do you mean here as in,
Yeah,
shall we
here in
say,
this,
operable?
yes, here in this vault, guarding it, doing a caught in their routine security route. Because if there was a fight, then where are the bodies? Who was fighting?
He gestures to the skeleton in Oleander's hand.
Oh dear. When you said crypt earlier, I had assumed that was someone related to you, but good to know.
No, this is a personal vault. Though our crypts are also vaults. Our culture is very interesting. If they were here to defend it, they weren't anyone in my family. They were someone who owed a debt.
So I assumed that this was just a regular security. This wasn't someone of significance. Not to disrespect the dead, but just so I can get a scale.
I'd have no way of knowing.
He was I meant to direct that toward Augusto.
I mean, obviously that you asked, but from my perspective, yes, doing their duty. No one of significant enough importance, after all, quite frankly. We don't send our top members or our people of high renown to do such work that could result in death. We don't send our brightest minds, our most witted of brain, our most charismatic.
Okay, I'm starting to. I get it.
Yeah.
He'll walk over to Ollie, which I assume Finn would notice. Ollie was playing with the bones and everything. You find anything weird with the body?
Well, there's definitely no one dead here, which means that they very thoroughly killed whatever guardian was here. Though I'm surprised. I would have expected more if that was the case, that they had extra protection. Maybe a few indentured servants or something. I don't know. Though whatever happened to this bone is frankly not very natural. He gestures to like a break, which probably has a little bit of blackness on it, and the black part on the floor that kind of shattered. Bone doesn't do that, at least not until, well, we're not going to talk about everything that can happen to bones, but not naturally.
Fair enough. He'll point back to Augusto. And where were the magic items taken from in here? Just a general question to you, Saris. Was there any like open vault casings or anything that were obvious, or?
Let me ask you this. Are you talking about, when you say open vault casings, like what do you...
So the idea in my brain is that, okay, it's a vault, so like a bank vault, there's probably like mini safes scattered along the walls or something along the like, or are these like open lock boxes?
Got it.
Were the items in open display somewhere? He's just asking for where were the items taken from inside of here?
Okay, I will answer your question, but I'm going to use this actually as a segue to get back to Manda's previous question from like a solid, I would say about 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, of course.
No. It's good. It's good. It's good. The timing is great. So, Pyle, you walked into the vault.
Yes, I did.
And the first thing that catches your eye is that there are like clear box-like containers that are full of, well, gold money, right? No one expects any less of that. But you also notice like podiums, pedestals, things that like kind of like you would expect to see in a museum where like items are displayed and then like encased.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this crystalline quartz, much like in those boxes full of gold that are supposedly encasing all of these other things, of which I will get into deeper description. The first thing that you notice is there is actually this same material shattered on the floor with a pedestal that seems to have like a bowl like shaped stand attached to it that's just in the open.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that there is a bag that, again, with glass shattered around it, is open, like wide open, and it looks like it's been. You also notice.
Wait, it looks like it's been what now? Sorry, you cut out.
Rifled through.
Okay.
And then you notice a another little box that had like, you know, those little like pillow things that you will people put like fancy like important jewelry in.
Mm-hmm.
That it has an indentation in it where something once was no longer is and is covered in glass. Rather, crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you do see that has not been touched at all. First thing that you notice is you notice a very, very fancy wooden carvings, and in the bottom is like a little red tassel hanging from it. And it seems to be set up on like a little stand for decoration. But of course, like I said, it's encased and it seems to be left alone. You notice a lantern that has a bright, flickering green flame in the center of it. And the lantern itself has a very gothic sort of look to it. Give me 2 seconds. My cat is just indicating that he wants to come in, and I know the fact that I can't ask my roomie. So give me like 2 seconds.
No, you're fine.
I need to BRB for 1 second, so that also works.
Obey cat.
The cat shall not be denied.
We don't own cats. Cats own us.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. I just saw him banging on the window, and I was like, "Oh no."
You're perfectly fine.
You notice as well a giant, like, this is so interesting. You notice this, like, giant ivory pipe, like, smoking pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting because, like, a little well, like, almost swirling in the container of legitimate purple smoke coming out of it. You notice a very fancy spear that is held up, and it's got like this very ornate end to it, this very ornate look, and think like Bloodborne or like Dark Souls or like this gothic horror sort of vibe to it, like very fancy.
Yeah, I got you.
And then you notice like a set of like different flasks and vials, all which have different like colored liquids in them. And the last two things that catch your eye, one of them is a wand that appears to be made out of bone, like it was carved out of somebody's like femur. And a giant fuck off buster sword, but it's fancy. But it's like super fancy. And all of these things have been left alone. Like there's not even like a crack or anything in the crystal that's encasing them.
Is piled pretty far in? Like, can other people like hear her or see her, or is she just like
Correct.
walking, or is she just like walking down like this hallway of items?
Oh no, it's a big vault. It is a big vault. So you are well inside of it.
She's probably gonna stop and just eyeball the giant Buster Sword, like, ooh, I can make that, and kind of backtrack a little bit to where, like, I guess where like the little open bag would be, and just very, very gently, just with the tip of her finger, kind of pulling it open to see if there's anything else in it.
The bag?
Yeah.
Coins. It's coins. It's a bunch of like medallions.
Huh. Hi, Mr. Alfalfa? Astolfo? Adolfo?
It's in this moment that you hear Finnegan ask about like are the items kept in casing? And right as Augusto is about to speak, you catch his attention. It's Augusto.
Oh!
What can I do to help?
Oh! Augustus. Got it. Right, yes. Are these the she'll kind of wiggle her fingers a little bit, you know, like how somebody does, like when they're like, money? And she go, the coin, the soul coin things that you were talking about were missing?
Oh, yes, that is the bag of soul coins, yes. And to answer your question, Finnegan, sir, yeah, as you can see, and he sort of gestures for you to look inside the vault. All of the items within the also highly secured in the lock boxes that we have set up for them, and every single contains these sort of arcane lock boxes. Yes.
All right. As Finnegan goes to approach the cases, sorry, I'm double checking my notes on all the stuff that was in the boxes.
Mm-hmm. Let me know if I need to reread something.
Okay, good. He'll point to the bag. So I assume that the 3 soul coins that were stolen came from that.
Yes.
Again, I'm not trying to break your secrets or nothing, but these arcane locks that keep these under care, is it easy? I'm gonna assume it's not easy to break them, but I assume that's a bit of a trade secret on how to break them.
Yes. We don't particularly like to share that kind of information, although we are happy to. The most we are willing to share is that they are not normal lock boxes. They aren't made of just any crystal either. They are arcane in nature. Yes.
All right. Finnegan will take a look more. These all look a bit more useful, but for a orb of shielding and eye of arcane and soul coins taken instead. Why those items?
That's what I was gonna say, and Shapile will gesture to like the grandiose items that the DM pointed out, cause them's real fancy. Them's probably get you pretty bag of coins. And she'll actually reach into the soul coin pouch and like pick up a coin and just kind of observe it.
Sure. It's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
the only thing I wanted to add is that you notice that it's not made of gold. It's more bronze material, actually. Very shiny. And it's the soul coin that you have currently in your hand seems to have a Boros insignia carved into it.
It has a Boros or a what now?
A Boros insignia, so like
okay.
Yeah, it's engraved into it.
Do they all have those insignias on them? She'll go, huh, that's Boros, and she'll reach in and just grab like another handful of coins.
Roll me a d10.
Shoot. 9.
Congratulations. That's Rakdos.
Oh, that's missing Rakdos. And I assume that as she like starts like going through these coins, they're just going to be like different places or like different guilds, basically.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Okay. She's gonna look at Finnegan and she's gonna look at Finn and kind of like hold out like these. She has like coins and coins and coins in her hands. These all got different guilds on them.
Uh,
You thinking that maybe somebody wanted somebody back to their guild?
Actually, yeah. As Finn will look back to Augusto, the souls that are in these coins, going by the symbols, I can assume that they're from different guilds. Are these enemies? Are these particular people you don't like, or are these just dead people you happen to collect the souls of?
Defaulters.
The what?
People who default on their debts.
Ah, got it.
The
And the three souls that were taken, do you happen to know what guilds they belonged to? Or do you just know that 3 were taken?
We just know that there were taken. However, we have reason to believe none of them were.
You cut out a reason to believe.
No! Reason to believe that none of them were Orzhov.
Alright, no, none of her oars off. Let me write that down.
Huh. And Pyle has kind of pulled these coins back up to her face and she's looking at them. And she's kind of squints her brow a little bit. Y'all don't keep an inventory or nothing?
It's... No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go first. It's your vault.
To be fair, when it comes to the House Bedford, our assets are our assets are kept very tight due to a nature of a very ancient contract. What I'm most interested in, Miss Pyle, is may I look at those coins?
Sure. I guess they belong to you, I guess. And she has like both of her hands are fucking massive. And she has just both these coins cupped in both hands and she just like holds them out for him to like fucking take them.
Yeah. At this point, because of how much destruction has happened and how like done with the day he is at like 8 a.m., Oleander is just disregarding the niceness of however this was presented inside the lockbox. Like, if there's a plimp inside for the bag, he's literally just thrown it out, upturned the bag, and pulled it out, and he's looking through. Tell me, are there any non-guild symbol coins in here?
I would assume so. Although that might be a question best answered by any of the workers that have the ledgers from your family or have the records of what is kept in this vault by your family.
Okay, then, is there something I can roll to do something that's very Orzhov?
Sure. You can first off roll a history check if you want to think back to people, to people or in this case guild lists that may have owned a service, or the sheer number of guild lists that would have owned a service.
Okay, that's good, but let me explain what I was actually trying to say. So,
Okay.
I'm going to imagine that every Orzhov is very good at quickly organizing money.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like to, while thinking on that same thing, organize the entire bag into stacks between the guilds and also making a stack for guild lists to make this easy for going against the ledger.
So what I will do is I will let you roll, I think for the sake of this, I want to say just a general, I almost want to say like an intelligence check maybe, or like, I'm willing to be flexible on this because I'm trying to think of what the best roll would be for this. But I'll let you do it with advantage.
I'll take an intelligence check, that's fine.
And I will say that it's going to take you a minute to do this. So while, go ahead and roll for me. And while you're doing this, Victor, while you're standing there and kind of watching all this happen, I would love for you to roll me just a quick perception check.
And while he's doing that, my roll comes out to a 19.
That is a
Hey.
16 on my end.
Cool. Cool. For both of you. So we will say, Oleander, you are able to do so successfully. And again, I will, after a brief moment of time has passed, I will tell you what your results are. As for that perception, there's something that catches your eye, Victor, as you're just kind of taking this all in and you're just listening and observing, is that there's something in the vault that strikes you as odd. Because it's not broken, but it's not encased in that crystalline material, those lock boxes. You see a flask on the ground that is what I can only describe is like one of those liquids where when the light hits it a certain way it's one color, but when it's the light isn't hitting it, it's another color. It's like a deep purple, but when the light hits it, it turns green.
Peter will slowly move towards it. He will not touch it, but he will like look the damage around it. Like
There's no
Mhm,
damage
right.
around it, surprisingly.
Do I get the feeling that this was here before and somehow it avoided damage, or that it was left here behind?
You get the sense that this wasn't originally in the vault.
What is this?
Uh,
He says out loud.
Augusto looks down at it and goes, "Oh, that's not supposed to be there. I don't know what that is."
This was not here originally.
No, because it would have been in a lockbox if it was supposed to be in here. His brows are furrowing and his speech is fading. Like he's going from speaking out loud to like thinking pensively. And it's in this moment, Oleander, where you are able to identify that yes, there are guildless in this stack, and there are 20 guildless in this stack.
All right, 20 guildless, approximately. You said the bag has no Orzhov coins. Oh, no Orzhov coins missing. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep
Correct.
all the data.
Correct. No, none missing. Correct.
All right, 5 Orzhov coins, 19 Rakdos, 17 Simic, etc., etc. I want to see the ledges. I am at least able to figure out what 3 types were taken, though I have a feeling, as he just looks at the guildless stack, that I might know the answer to this.
I'm sure that is something I can get for you. It may take me a little bit of time, of course, but that is I will once the 4 of you leave this place, I will send request for those ledgers. Absolutely.
I'm just going to say this right now to save you time. Everything will be under the authority of Ashby Simwell, because, in all honesty, he's supposed to be protecting this vault. And he is going to give a death glare at Augusto.
Understood.
Do you mind if I grab a note? And she just kind of picks up one of the coins. Doesn't really matter to her. Are these all made the same way of the same stuff?
When you say the same stuff,
Like like the same metals and rituals and what have you.
yes.
Okay, then this will be a little bit easier. And she'll put the coin in the palm of her hand and gently cover it with her other hand. And she's gonna close her eyes and just kind of go quiet for a moment. And I hope this is gonna work this way. She's gonna try and cast Locate Object to see where any of the other coins might be, if they're close by,
Amanda, I love you, but I also use that spell in another game. That literally is going to, like, tell you that the nearest one would be the stacks that are literally next to you. It's a great spell if the thing you have is something specific.
Fair.
Nope. Hold on.
Oh.
You know what? No. There's a way I'm going to rule of cool this. I want you to roll me percentile. Roll me a D100.
Okay. Booski. 10.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah. This is what strikes you as odd. You do get a ping.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And for a moment, it dawns on you to look at the signa on the back of the coin.
And she does.
It's an is it coin.
Everybody will see, as Pyle is kind of like, she's channeling whatever powers she has. They'll see her suddenly just like, it's like a chill that runs up her spine. She just kind of goes, "Ugh," and she straightens up really abruptly. And then she'll look down and pick up the coin and flip it on the back and go, "It's an is it coin? Huh. Does it like ping somewhere beyond where they are?"
I'm going to say limitations of the spell, kind of like what Vaughn was saying, that unfortunately I can't give you specific location, and part of that is also due to the fact that there is a ton of like rock around you, so it is inhibiting it. But here's what you do get. It's definitely not inside of this building, which self-explanatory. It's got the same guild makeup as the coin that you have in your hand. At least one of them is anyway. And here's what else I will tell you. It's not in this district. This ping is farther away than even in the district that you're currently in. And that's concerning.
That is concerning. Whoever's closest to Pyle will see her brows dip as she's staring at the coin.
I imagine that'd be Ollie, because we're both like standing right by those while everyone else is looking at the damage in the room.
Fair. I mean, well, Ollie will then see her brows dip, and that she's basically staring a hole into this coin. And then she'll lift her eyes slightly. And it's like she's tracking something in the room, but there's nothing to track.
What do you have there, Miss Pyle?
One of the coins is an is it coin. And she'll offer it down to Ollie. It's not even in this district. It's far away. I can't really track it. It's fuzzy, but it's away.
The type of damage in this room. Lot of fire. Wouldn't be out of place for an Iset.
And
They are not working alone. There are
True.
spores here. And he stands up and looks at Augusto. You said they escaped to the Undercity.
Correct.
There is a team working here.
That would make sense. Yes, I would believe, considering how difficult it is to get through our security measures. I can't imagine that it would just be one person unless they were an incredibly powerful, even I would argue, planeswalker, which our intelligence indicates that that's not the case.
But we are narrowing it. He points again to the flask in the floor. Anyone can recognize what that is.
No. I unfortunately, I regret to inform you that that's not anything on. It's not supposed to be there. I would assume. I would assume it belongs to whoever it is who's done this, but I suffice it to say that I have no idea, and I don't know where I would begin to even, to my unfortunate dismay. And you can tell in this moment that he is a little embarrassed and disappointed in himself that he is unable to give you the information that you're looking for.
Just
Oops, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if there was anything we could roll to possibly identify it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked out loud.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. If you both want to roll, I would say in this case an Arcana check.
I am so glad I. So when I was double checking Finn's sheet before session 0, I realized I didn't click in one of the skills I wanted, and I figured, you know what? I feel like it's gonna come in handy. Why don't we just take Arcana? And it has been so helpful so far. 18.
Oh, nice. Actually, if you don't mind me asking, like,
Mhm.
Victor does have proficiency with poisoner's kits, so he understands a little bit of like making some sort of alchemy. Would you consider that viable for him to take a look at, like trying to guess it, or it's
Yeah,
like
that's
out of his?
Yeah, I would. No, I mean, so here's what I will also tell you: just how I function as a DM above game.
Mhm.
Is even if it's not something that would be, shall we say, in your purview or in your proficiency, I will never not give information, even if that information is what it can't possibly be. So I would say even if it is out of Victor's purview, I would still encourage you to roll.
So that would be an Arcana, right?
Mhm.
Then I go. That's a 2.
Oh
It's fine.
no!
No, that's perfectly fine.
Victor, you have no idea. You've
Nope.
not seen something like this before. I'm sorry. But here's what I can tell you, Finnegan. First things first, this ain't a standard poison. You've, as an investigator, seen your fair share of standard poisons. This is not one of them. You also know that this is not grease, nor is it oil. It's definitely of magic means, but it's not a component of any sort. This thing is also not a healing potion of any sort. You don't know what it is, but you know what it's not. You also note, I will add this too, that it is not a vial of smoking liquid, like the equivalent of like a smoke bomb. It's not that either.
Do you think it is safe for me to pick it up?
It's not any known poison I know off the top of my head. It's not a smoke bomb of any kind.
Can I hear
It
them?
was.
Yes,
It was.
these
left
halls
behind.
echo.
It was left here behind. It was not in this room when whoever entered broke in.
Finnegan will reach into his pocket and pull out something like a handkerchief or whatnot, and will reach down to grab it.
Victor will grab his shield.
See, that's what Finnegan's got the right idea. Pyle was gonna be like, "Y'all want a pair of pliers? I got
Watch-
one on my belt."
Watch me uncanny dodge a landmine.
That's the thing, like, what Victor is thinking is that I don't know if this is a contingency to. Anyway,
He's not gonna fully grasp it. Finnegan is just gonna like with the handkerchief cover the hand, just poke it for a second.
You poke it. It does a little. The vial does a little roll, and the water does a little splish, and nothing happens.
He will then reach down and grasp it, and then pick it up.
Add one mysterious flask to your inventory.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Come on. Alright. Here, add custom item. I'll just make it easy. Oh, it closed on me. Come on. Alright. I'm fiddling with, okay, it does not want to cooperate with me. Mysterious vial. There we go. my backpack. Fitting will hold it up and just, upon closer inspection, I assume there's no, like, identifiable marks on the glass, like a brand or any, particular, like, scratch or damage to it.
Actually, I'm just going to give this to you because you thought to ask. First off, what strikes you as odd? There are no indications of any damage to the vial, except a little tiny nick on one of the sides where it looks like it must have had some damage when it. You can assume from the look of it that it probably hit the stone actually and caused a little crack, but it didn't go all the way through the vial. The vial's not leaking. The other thing that you notice, because again, I'm just going to give this to you, is that you see a very fancy filigree on the top of the lid, the metal lid. It's not a cork, it's a metal lid. And you see the initials L and N.
Hmm.
L and N. Finn will point to that. There's something on the glass here in the filigraphy. L N. If this is, assumedly, well, wait, no, scratch that. So we've got the smell of pollen in the air. And is it coin? Initials L N. Anything ringing a bell to anyone?
We have yet to explore the escape route. This is the crime scene, but they know they escaped down. How? And he looks at Agosto.
That's the thing. We have, from our security decal, we know that they went through the sewers. Quite literally, they didn't even leave out, shall we say, the back door. They went directly from our sewage pipes. And when we went to investigate, there was no sign of damage to our pipes and to our sewage entrance, if you want to call it that. He just kind of has this like ugh look on his face as he says that. That's the kicker, is that most of the, shall we call it, evidence is isolated here. We have reason to believe that they probably managed to get through security to get in, managed to dismantle as much as they could of our security here at the vault, and then slipped through with only an inkling of a trace. And the only thing that we were able to get from our security is that there were at least in terms of the escape, 3 people involved.
All right, 3 people.
Sounds like
He
someone
will-
on the inside.
Precisely. They knew what they were doing. You do not have this precise of a plan without a blueprint, at least. This had help from within.
That is probable, unfortunately. Yes. Though we don't even, at this point, begin to suspect who. Other than it had to have been someone with clearance.
Saris, on a
Yes?
on a scale of 1 to I need to roll, what would be my take on, would our great pontiff be stupid enough to do a crime that he would then have to report?
I'm going to tell you now that politically speaking, that would be so stupid for him to do. That you realize very quickly that if he wanted to do it, he would be much smarter about it, and there would be other ways that he would do it.
Okay, yeah. It's just the person who is trying to steal my money that I can't have. I had to know. Okay.
Nope. Yep. I like your method of thinking, but I would say that you also know enough to know that the Orzhov pontiffs like to play dirty in non-physical ways.
All right. Well, at least I and most of the parties involved directly with this vault are quite literally unable to be connected to it.
Hey, Saris, I also have a question.
Sure.
Can Pyle do with the other coins what she did with the Izzet coin to see if she can get a vibe on which coins are which clans are missing?
Sure. Absolutely.
Cool. Because while all this is going on, she's just gonna try and do that with the other coins. She's basically palming the Izzet coin in one hand, and then she's just picking up other coins to see if she can get the vibe off of each one of them. Because there are 3 missing, so it'll narrow it down if she just goes through one by one.
So, I'm going to rule of cool this because I understand that this isn't how the spell works, but I really like your thought process and I would like to reward it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to make you recast the spell. We're going to say that you will change your focus on what item that you are trying to locate. With that, I would like you to roll me a D100.
Okay. Doodly-doo. 79.
You don't get a ping from this one outside of the room. And you look at it, and it's Demir.
Okay. It's she'll as she's doing this, she'll since Ollie is standing there next to her, she'll like put the coin in his hand. All right, it's not this one, and she'll pick up another one and just kind of go through each one and just hand off the ones that they aren't and palm the ones that they are.
I do have to ask one thing. Would Ollie fully recognize this? Because the Demir existing is such a weird subject in all of Ravnica lore.
Mm-hmm.
So would Ollie recognize the guild signet or just be like, huh?
You wouldn't.
Okay.
You wouldn't. But it does look cool.
That's a funny spider.
In fact, Pyle, that's the interesting thing too. You don't recognize. I'm telling you, above game, it's not Demir, but like in that same vein, Pyle, you don't recognize this guild signet. But whatever it is, it's not relevant because it wasn't this one, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know what this is, but this ain't it. And she hands it off to Ollie, picks up another coin, and this is just what she's gonna do while everybody's doing stuff.
And for the sake of ease, I will tell you that the other coins that you managed to get are Simic and Golgari.
Typing notes. Cool. And as she's going through, she goes, "No, it's not this one, not that one, not this one either. Oh, there we go. There's one." She'll turn it one side, then the other. Simic, and then she'll put it back in her hand. It's not this one, not this one. And each one, she's just handing off the ones they are not to Ollie.
I want to believe that Ollie stacked these all like how you see people stack poker chips. And so he's literally just taking one off, handing to her, then putting one back.
It's just this nice little fucking circle. Nope, it's not this one. Nope. Aha! And she'll hold up the last one. Huh. Golgari. Ah. And then she'll palm it, put in her palm, and then present them to Ollie like, ta-da!
Well, we know the parties involved. Or at least the most useful coins that would have gone to them. Augusto, could you explain to me exactly what soul coins do? I know they trap a soul, but that's about as far as it goes.
The coin becomes magical because it is endued with the energy and the life force of the soul. In other words, you could theoretically tap into the soul's power and, shall we say, do something arcane with it. The purposes of having them in the Orzhov is, shall we say, for collective purposes. We don't typically do things with them, so it's hard to say what they could be used for if they are to be used in a way other than just this person's soul and this person's life force are accessible through this coin.
Well, someone took an Is It coin, and if we're operating on someone took it because it could be useful and they're possibly affiliated with that guild, an Is It could do something with an energy source.
You mentioned they also took a Golgari one. I will repeat. There are spores in here. It seems to me that the coins matches the perpetrators, which would make this personal. I have no clue on the Simic one.
Actually, I'm gonna roll an intelligence check to see if Pyle is gonna come up with this idea on her own.
Go for it.
Okay, cool. Look at you, Pyle. You're working those two brain cells. I'm so proud of you. Pyle will kind of squint and go, I wonder if they're doing that. I heard some Boros talking about it a long time ago. Necrofancy, maybe they're like people they want to bring back to life. She says, holding up one of the coins and kind of flipping it over in her fingers.
Not how that works, but, well, it's hard to say. If it's only life force, it's a power source. It's more of, I took this person's soul and I reduced it to a coin.
Huh.
If the soul was still cognizant, it'd be different. You could do a lot more with that, but I'm the one who does the necromancy around here. I kind of understand.
Oh, Mancy. Oh, I get it, because you're a boy. And she'll put her hand on the top of his head.
You have to understand the most. Remember session 0. This is Ollie as we go into this place. That is him and getting his hair messed up and being like, you know what? No. She's trying to help. She is.
Hey, Vaughn, I'm gonna need you to roll a d12 of psychic damage.
You know what? Fuck it.
Didn't know clerics had vicious mockery.
I was gonna say, shit. I didn't realize I had vicious mockery. Let's go.
There we go. Oh, I take 10. Oh, I'm
Ollie
playing
falls to the floor.
Oh.
Oh no! Ollie does the anime drop.
Oh no!
Not the Peter Griffin fall.
Yeah, I was about to say anime drop and then the pose of the Family Guy fall.
Oh no!
But no, I will say Ollie is just stern faced, you know what? Nope, they're helping me fix hair because I'm a teenager and I just had my hair messed up and I have to look good at all times because I'm insecure.
Oh, see, she hasn't ruffled his head. His hair. She just has her hand on top of his head. It kind of how you would palm a basketball. She just has her hand right on top of his nog, and she kind of gives his whole neck and his whole head and his shoulders just kind of a little jostle. Like, look at you. Look how powerful you are. You must be really great at this. And she's just kind of smiling. Has this big dumbass grin on her face.
Can I roll insight to see if they are sincere?
I mean, you're welcome to. She's nothing but. She's been nothing but.
True. I just want Sarah's permission. I don't want to just start rolling against other people without them saying it's okay.
I mean, Manda just gave you permission,
Okay.
so
Yeah, go for it.
13? I'd assume it's pretty
She,
obvious.
she doesn't have a mean bone in her fucking body. For somebody who's very clearly Gruul, somebody who's very clearly just a walking fortress of a woman, she doesn't look like she has like the personality of somebody who would probably cry if she saw a fly missing a leg or something.
I'm just gonna say that, like, you're gonna see a lot of emotions travel across this awkward teen's face in a second. There'll be the first, it's Gruul be like still hard and angry. Then it's like the touch happens and he like registers that. Then it's like, holy shit, this person said something actually nice to me and actually meant it. It's a mixture of so many conflicting emotions. I'm just like, huh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Miss Pyle. Thank you. And he's just gonna slip out from under it as awkward, touch-starved child.
And as he kind of slips away, she'll just give him a big old swat on the back. Ah, there you go. Let's go get your fancy schmancy coins back.
Well,
I
legally
guess.
speaking, they are both mine and not mine.
You can hear the dial-up noise as she kind of processes that comment.
We'll talk about it later. Let's just see if we can't figure out some more things. Yes, though.
Ah!
If the Golgari are involved, that might explain why there's no signs of exit.
They
Fair.
exit through the sewers. We have heard that.
One thing I am concerned about, if you don't mind me butting in, is that if it were just the Golgari and the Izzet, how did they get in and out as seamlessly as they did? Which again, as mentioned, means we might have a mole on our hands. And my honest concern is getting the four of you clearance to be able to investigate our security measures. Much like those ledgers, Sir Bedford, I would... I guess what I'm asking is if you would give me some time to ensure that the four of you have security clearance and supervision to be able to investigate our measures further.
Well, I literally can't stop you from doing anything, so yes, you have my permission for what it's worth.
So, are we not keeping chase? You said yourself, I am here as an escort.
I mean, beyond... I will make this very clear. Beyond these walls, I am under the instruction to tell you that I cannot tell you what to do. Only that your objectives are to find the perpetrators and bring us our objects back. Preferably in one piece, but multiple pieces will be fine. The other warning that I will give you is that, as I'm sure you know, Mr. Bedford, our pontiff here is not exactly the most patient man, and thus he may be inclined to, shall we say, put a bounty on it and extend offers to other groups if he feels as though you are not working fast enough.
Of course. To answer you, Mr. Victor, I would say you should take us to the nearest opening to a sewer that's close to here, and if you want to explore where they could have possibly gotten out, that would be a very good idea.
Victor will not. That I can do.
Actually, follow-up question. With the way the rule of cool is working this, is Pyle gonna need to hang on to these coins to keep tracking them, or does she just like a bloodhound, she has the scent now and she doesn't need the coins anymore?
If you are, because it only lasts for 10 minutes, if you are going to want to have a trail, essentially, of those items, you are going to have to physically take them with you.
Okay. In that case, she'll kind of wave at Augusto. Hi, can I borrow these for however long it takes to get the other ones back?
Augusto looks at Oleander.
Oleander's gonna do something like, he has very much tried to be polite this entire time, but he has also been visibly very angry, which, from when you first met him, does not seem like it's very, like, it seems like it's very foreign. He is typically afraid of most people around him. He's literally going to look to Augusto and go, "Please tell the Pontiff that we will be taking these to assist in the investigation. And also let him know, depending on what we find, I may be making a request of the Obsidat. I feel my trust is not being kept in good faith."
Roll an intimidation with advantage.
Ooh.
You are asking to speak with the manager.
Yeah, literally. Well, it's not even just the manager. It's like I'm gonna contact the CEO. I'm gonna contact the CEO and let them know how bad your waiter is doing. Like,
So that's a 26.
you
Pants shitted.
you notice that all color drains from this man's face, and he just gives you a small, very silent nod.
Oleander is going to take that, and he is going to put that in a memory shrine, because he is typically always the person who the color drains from. But again, he's still too mad to process all of the positive emotions that have happened to him, which are more than he probably gets in a month. And so he's just gonna start walking, following after Victor if he's leading the way to try to find a sewer.
Does anyone want to do anything before you? I'm assuming the rest of you follow.
Yeah. Pyle's gonna do that thing that women do, and she's just gonna stash it. Stash the 3 coins.
Finnegan.
Mm-hmm.
Augusto taps you on the shoulder and asks, "Did you still want to check out the construct?"
Yes, just so I can see the damage that was done to it, see any patterns of weaponry or whatever that arcane dust leaking from it might have been caused by, just so we can see what we're dealing with in terms of threat.
As the 4 of you head down the hallway, first thing you notice is you hear the footsteps of someone leaving that direction. You see a shadow from around the corner of an individual heading out. But they pause at the hearing of, "Did you still want to look in the security closet?" before continuing to walk away. And as Augusto opens up the door, you do notice it is quite literally like a security closet. You see different jars and pouches. You see a table with admittedly some playing cards laying on it. But you do see, as I mentioned previously, slumped on the floor in front of the table, this construct.
All right. Looking at the construct, what type of damage is it decaying? Does it look like it was dented in? Was it cut up?
Head was dented in. Go ahead, which is obvious, but go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Yeah. Ooh. Lots of 16s tonight.
You do notice what appear to be some like slashing marks across it. You do notice that the arm seems to have been ripped out of socket, if you will. You do also notice scorch marks on it, on like almost like drive-by passerby, if you will. And you also notice, this is particularly interesting, have you ever seen like on metal or on glass the residual sort of markings that are left by ice, like ice crystals? That as well.
Fitting able to light a cigar and use the burning end of it as he zooms in and gets closer to act as a little bit of a mini light as he looks
And
at the details.
as you do, you notice that a little puff of air around it actually ignites momentarily. It seems like this also has some type of spore or pollen that's been, I guess, left on it as well.
Okay, so we can confirm the pollen's on this as well. He's gonna take a look at the claw marks. Uh, Victor, you look like you know, as he makes a hand gesture like cat claws, how to rip something apart. Do you think you could recognize anything from these scratch marks on the side here? As he will point on the side of the machine.
Victor will take a look and try to put together the kind of damage that it received.
Roll me a survival check.
Ooh. That's a 6.
I'm giving you advantage, because
That's a 13
there's
then.
there's legitimately no reason why this wouldn't. I understand that I've been flopping a lot of y'all's bad rolls, but like there's stuff that logistically in my mind I'm like, no, you should have gotten this, and this is one of them. Those
fair.
are
Oops, sorry.
those are claw marks, actually. Like, they're not made from a blade. The way that they're jaggedly slashed across the metal, that's not from a blade. Those are claw marks.
When you say claw,
Mhm.
I know my like the anatomy of how mine work. Like this feels like more bug crustacean or like
Mammal.
mammal. That kind of claw.
I would say
Claw marks.
one more clarification. Are we talking like is it 4 claw marks? Like just the number, because that will appendages are different even with mammals.
Yeah, that's true.
So, this is what's interesting. Is that you can tell that it's definitely more than 3, but only 3 of them managed to gain purchase.
Hmm. These are claw marks. Wherever we did it, it was some kind of animal or animal-like.
Can you tell what type? Like insect, fish?
I would say it was a mammal.
Mammal. Well, with that and the spores talk, along with the supers, yeah, I think we know what direction we're going. The arcane, like essence or fluid you're
Mhm.
talking about, I'm assuming that's coming from the construct itself.
Yes, that
Okay, so
seems
it's
to
like the oil.
be. Yeah, it's like the equivalent of oil. It's the magic infusion that allowed it to essentially be alive.
All right, so they roughed it up with a solid weapon, slashed it with its claws, and it looks like there's some kind of residue from a it's like ice, kinda, but an area that you were describing the like the ice on a window. Uh, does it is it cold there or is it just like the
It is, and
aha?
it's specifically on the feet.
And it looks a little cold on the feet where this little ice-like damage was, so it looks like they might have tripped it up. He'll look to Augusto. In the area where this one was found, was there, other than the explosions and everything, was there trace amounts of just extra water there for no reason, or?
He nods, and yes, and unfortunately, because of recent temperatures, we unfortunately could not, shall we say, keep it preserved. It did evaporate.
All right, so we got some ice flingers who know their way around explosions. Looking at the scorch marks that were on the upper half, do they kind of match? Because you said it was like a drive-by manner, but
Mhm.
is it a similar pattern to whatever wrecked up shop in the vault itself?
Absolutely, you don't even need to roll for that.
And so they really wanted to make sure this thing stayed down. The scorch marks on the upper side match of the vault. As he takes another inhale from the cigar, and actually cares to blow the smoke away from everybody and not in anyone's general direction. All right, I think we've got all the details we need, and we know a little bit more of what we're dealing with. So, everyone, should we encounter problems, watch your feet and keep your eyes open.
Victor will nod.
You'll hear a series of clip-clop sounds from Pyle.
All right, I think it's about everything we can get, unless the rest of y'all have any other questions or theories.
No, I'm willing just to find the answers ourselves.
And he will reach into his coat and pull out that mysterious vial. I do have an idea potentially. How does all the anti-magic stuff? Does it work on stopping spells that were cast before they came in?
He kind of gives you a defeated look and just kind of shrugs.
Damn. Because my prevailing theory right now of how they got in, it's just a theory. Perhaps someone made themselves invisible before they walked into the facility, and then sprung themselves as soon as they got closer to the vault, took out whoever was guarding it along with the construct, and then found their way to the sewer. That's just my immediate brain.
Well, sounds about as good a theory as any. Pyle will nod.
And he'll look to Augusto just to gauge how he reacts to the possibility that he's presented.
He just kind of like nods thoughtfully in consideration, not necessarily openly agreeing or disagreeing, more just considering the line of thought that you've presented.
Because while you can't tell us how these anti-magic stuff functions, I did notice that one blipped when Ollie over here did something earlier. So my theory is that these things can't stop magic that was already casted before he came in, or as he gestured to the vial, was ingested. Because I can't figure out what's in here right now. But we can maybe figure out at some point.
And I hope you do. Sincerely, I hope you do.
Alright, that's all I had to say.
There's nothing else that the four of you want to do or say in this moment. He's going to lead you out the back door. Which he pauses and says, I do hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I do hate to be the person to put this on you all, but I do sincerely appreciate you accepting this job, and I do wish you the best of luck. He looks over, he takes what you now realize he has had on his person as he removes it from out behind, underneath the cloak, a rather ornate looking walking cane. And he taps it a couple of bricks 2 times on the wall, and the physical bricks themselves shift and move in such a way that it presents you with a passageway out. And for the first time in several hours at this point, if I may be so bold, you see daylight. And with a lot of thoughts, a lot of questions, a potential lead, that is where I'm going to end tonight's session.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm so...
Yeah.
Oh.
Vaughn's like, I'm engaged! Let's go!
You've activated all my neurons. I'm that one monkey meme.
Oh, oh wait, no, I think that's on my phone. Damn it! I do literally have that meme somewhere. Please ignore me.
But yeah, no. this has been awesome. Like, Saris, like, everybody, round of applause.
Yeah, no, real fun.
Well, let me
I'm-
also switch over to the other screen real quick.
Really glad that y'all enjoyed it. I've been, as Vaughn had mentioned, been cooking on this for like several months now, and I'm just so excited.
Well, it definitely shows. Like, I was prepared for so many different random things because you're like, hey, maybe you should prepare for this or this. I'm just like, oh, I was not prepared for my backstory to be brought in here. Okay, Disaster Child's probably gonna have to wait until we get away from the Orzhov for a while. Oh. But yeah, it's also late, and I do know that several of us are on the East Coast. So, let's start going around the horn with, again, Saris, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah.
Sure thing. You can find me over on Twitter and Tumblr at TXDXL and on Instagram at TixDixel with eyes in between the consonants. Like I said before, you can find me here now every Friday DMing this lovely, lovely game for the next couple of months, unless we go super, super short. But I doubt that that's going to happen. And I'm going to pass the potato, as I've heard it's moldy, over to Citric.
Seriously, someone need to just throw the potato away. It's been weeks. Like at this point, it's fermenting. It's solid vodka. This is solid vodka. It's not a potato. Anyway, yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere at Citric King. That is doing the drinking game of check a social media network and see if I am there with the same handle. But to give a short list, I am on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Newgrounds, Blue Sky Now, etc., etc., and etc. And yeah, sometimes, would you believe it, I draw stuff and I post them there. Other than that, you can find me here on Thursdays playing Midas for all Warlock game in Pack Tactics. And I think that's all for me. So I'm giving back the
I'm actually gonna
question.
I'm actually gonna
Hmm?
steal the potato because I have to go to the bathroom. You can
Potato.
find me at Twitch, Twitter, and Blue Sky at Zako Duo. I I will be going up later today for my 4-year stream anniversary, and we'll be covering a lot of things. Street Fighter 6, Armored Core 6, a lot of sixes. Maybe my wrestling show. I'll see how I'm feeling in a little bit. Probably Fortnite, just a whole lot of things. And then we'll be going here on Burnout Ron's channel for AI Summoning Files Nirvana Initiative. And then immediately after that will be the second half of my anniversary. And potato goes to Manda.
Hello, it's me. I am Mandaloo Panda. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Mandaloo. I'm probably not going to be streaming for a little while because I've been doing a lot of D&D, which you can find me here every Friday. And then tomorrow, every Saturday, tomorrow, you can find me over on Trash King Arisen's channel, where we play our Straight Out of Capella game, which is run by Sour Slimes. Every other Sunday, which would be on the 3rd. You can find me over on Nero Napier's channel, where we do our Bloodborne-esque horror campaign, where I play the other cleric. And then every other Wednesday, you can again find me over on Trash King Arisen's channel for our Bearers of the Torch My Hero Academia homebrew campaign. And yeah, that's it for me. Vongo.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at BurnoutVaughn, where this will be going up hopefully in the next few days. It's going to be a very hectic time for trying to upload everything, but first we'll get up the most recent pack tactics, then this, and there will be a playlist for everyone to follow. For those who don't know, hopefully this Monday we'll continue with some more Wizard Sibs play, as I myself and Zymocyte go through the RE2 make as our D&D characters from our Saved by the Spell game, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But following that, we also have Pack Tactics, which again, all Warlock campaign, where we're going through. We are literally trying to fight a character we cannot beat. He is rolling 30s, and we are level 9. So that's going to be a really fun time. And then also, like we said, Saturday. Oh, well, actually, next Friday, more of this. Then Saturday, we switch from doing No Love War Extra back to Saved by the Spell, where I think we're going to be doing D&D The Hangover. I'm going to try not to be Zach Braff. Actually, no, not Zach Braff. Zach Galifianakis. Oh. I actually think I would do a pretty good D&D Zach Braff. I've watched enough Scrubs. But yeah.
As long as I can be your Donald face on.
Oh, yeah, man. Sokka, let's be real here. Out of all of my friends, you're the one I would most likely sing, "It's Guy Love Between Two Guys." But now it's time for us to find somebody to raid, but I think I found the proper person because I never actually get to raid them because I never actually regularly stream on a Friday. So, in honor of Saris being our DM, we're going to raid another reason why we became friends, another member from the Cholta personality group. So let me make sure I spell their name right. _. Yeah, okay. And we're going to raid Draco _Magnius or Dan from our Cholta personality games. So, I think I have an idea actually for our first ever raid message, which would be straight out of Ravnica.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming out. It's been a great time, and we're glad that you're all enjoying this. Like, this has been
Heck yeah.
Like, I knew I was gonna have fun with this, but this session tonight, I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be a ride that I look forward to all week. So, thank you for coming out. We want to keep that going. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.